The babyface in today. Hello, babyface.
Good morning. How we doing?
Well, see, we like to not say good morning.
Well, it's to you. That wasn't to everybody else.
No, I know, but
that was a personal good morning to you because I'm not allowed to talk or look at you before the show. So I figured I would get it in now.
What do you mean you're not allowed to look or talk at me?
You don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, I don't.
Very specific. What do you mean? Oh yeah. Well, you're right.
No, you're right. You're right. I prefer not to be looked or bothered or talked to.
Yeah, especially by me. So.
Well, no. I think Anna and everybody would tell you by everybody. I'm pretty fair on that one.
Anna's super smart about it. She waits until literally the bumper music starts playing and then she walks in.
Not every day.
Yeah, pretty much though. I mean, you usually get right there in that sweet spot. You're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I think everybody's pretty good at it. Everybody knows that I'm a real prick. When you know, like and again, it's right. It's just literally like it's right before the game. I'm sure all high strung, except for the Rays, high strung athletes are real nervous. Right before the game.
Well, they said with Jordan, he did not want to be talked to about an hour and a half before the game.
Yeah, I can understand. Not that I'm Michael. Well, yeah, I think I'm
Michael Jordan.
I am Michael Jordan, sure, of this world.
Yes,
but yeah, like I don't want to. Like I'm assuming your biggest performance of your profession, Brian, is before either right before deposition start, or a trial starts, or closing arguments are the ultimate form of your profession. Right? I mean, that's the most stressful thing that you have to nail probably in your profession. Would you not agree?
Yeah. To me, quite honestly, the most stressful moment in a trial
is Fort Dyer?
is jury selection. Absolutely.
Yeah, Fort Dyer.
Because we're handed this pile of forms that very little information on each juror, and I'm frantically trying to go through that and get additional information while thinking of the questions that we're going to ask them. And
people don't realize, man, honestly. And I'm not trying to get too far down the legal rabbit hole here, but I mean, honestly, the information's out there. Once you go to trial, they have what you got, and you got what they got. There's really not any really big red. I mean, right from those.
Yeah, there's not those aha moments. I mean, you'll have witnesses that screw up or will misstate something or misremember something, and
you're like,
you got it. You get those moments in there, but it's not like those Perry Mason moments on TV where you get the guy to.
What people don't realize in the judicial system is to make it fair, all the information that they have, you have, or at least had the ability to have. And so, right? I mean, that's what makes trial fair: discovery and the sharing of information. But so what people don't realize is that the path kind of you're going to go down is kind of predetermined, and both sides kind of know where they're going with it. But what both sides don't know is jury selection. That's what wins. I mean, more often than not, who did the better jury selection, who did the better research and picked the better jury, or did Fort Dyer better? That's a very big determining factor for who wins.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and a lot of it's out of your control. Whoever those first 20 jurors are that sit in that panel. The back row jurors very rarely get selected unless it's a super high profile case or they've got to get a big jury panel on. But those front jurors, and you're stuck with them. And part of it, too, then becomes strategy. Who does the other side want out? Who could you live with? Who do you think they're going to strike and use a peremptory challenge on?
Is it 3 strikes?
Most trials, you agree to 3, they call peremptory challenges, where you don't have to have any real reason. Any non-race-based reason, essentially.
Now, when you're in Fort Dyer, do you love getting somebody thrown out based on just the judge saying, yeah, I agree with you, that's a conflict? I mean, and it doesn't count as a preemptive strike. Is that like super cool?
Yeah, we had one. In the last trial that I did like 2 months ago.
So you can get a guy thrown out and it not be a strike, right?
He knew one of the witnesses that was going to be testifying in the case. And so
at that point, do you go in front of Your Honor and say, Your Honor, I would like to recuse, juror number 156 and then you lay it out.
Yeah, the judge. So once the jury's out of the room, he gives you some time to kind of go over everything, to look over what your plan is, and then he starts. Okay, let's go with challenges for cause, and so you lay out what your cause is for the various jurors. This one says that they're not going to be able to focus because they've got major child care issues and they take care of a mentally handicapped child at home or a family member.
Right.
So
putting them on is just going to piss them off, and it's not good for anybody.
And yeah, because you want somebody who's at least going to pay attention.
Right. Not be mad about being there.
Right. I mean, nobody's going to be thrilled. Some people are thrilled about being there. That's you want to avoid those jurors too. The overzealous jurors that are excited to be there.
The ones that be like, hell yeah, I get to be on a jury.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because they sometimes come with an agenda, and if you don't know exactly what their agenda is, those jurors tend to be a little bit scary to lawyers because they could hijack the jury.
Probably. Those kind of Johnny Rah-Rahs are probably, you're right, try to hijack the jury and make it about them, which could be bad for either side, right? I mean, it could really, really be bad for, even the person you're going against.
Yeah, you kind of want jurors that are kind of in the middle.
Anna would be a good juror. I think Lummy would be a good juror.
Yes, thank you.
I don't want to be there.
Yeah, I think everybody in your studio would be. I think
I do too. I think we all would be good jurors.
Although I think Mach would be tough because,
he's very cynical and very mean.
I'm claiming injuries from my clients, and he's like, well, they should have been stronger. They should
right.
Have,
the guy would have, if the guy would have...
I wouldn't have gotten hurt in that car accident.
Yeah,
but seriously,
though. Better shoulders. Guys would have had better shoulders and traps. He wouldn't have had that neck injury right now.
But unless my client was like a former bodybuilder that now is saying he can't lift because he's got a torn labrum or something like that, I wouldn't want a guy that looked like Mach on my jury because he's clearly fit and active, and he's going to have
You don't want to get a guy like Mach if you were like defending a guy that got poisoned by some protein powder, and protein powder is a major part of this guy's life, and the protein manufacturer put got a bad batch of didn't recall it, and so Johnny Bodybuilder lost all of his muscle mass and is now a teeny tiny little tinky guy. Boy, Macho Man would be really putting the wood to that client.
Oh yeah.
Macho would award all the damages in the world to that dude.
Or a criminal trial where the defendant's accused of trying to buy DECA off of like an undercover officer or something like that.
Yeah.
Trying to get healthier.
Macho would be like, man, that guy didn't do anything wrong. He's just trying to get a little bigger. Oh yeah. Cop should have said he had the fake DECA. Mach would give that guy all the money, would he not?
Yeah. I'm typing an email here to Tom Bean and everybody. I heard DECA. What's going on?
Yeah.
We've got his attention.
Oh, we said DECA 3 times, and then he's like Beetlejuice.
He's like Candyman. Yeah. So anyway, the big story here locally, I guess it probably is national too, because it's a national baseball, a National League Baseball, or Major League Baseball, I should say. And we obviously live in Tampa, so we're Rays fans. I'm not really a Bucks fan. Brian, are you a Bucks fan?
Yeah. I mean, I of course I'm going to cheer for the hometown team.
Out of all the hometown teams, if you take the Bucks, you take the Rays, you take the Lightning, we only have really 3. I guess we have a soccer team, the Rowdies, and I guess we have a college football team.
Yeah, absolutely, go Bulls.
Yeah, but out of the big sexy 3, which are your favorite? Which rank yours, Brian, in order of favoritism?
Well, I think mine would be what everybody's would be, which is Lightning, Bucks, Rays.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way it goes, right?
Yeah, in this town for now. I think if the Lightning were to fall on hard times,
like they were in the 90s,
then in the early 2000s,
back when we had Chris Gratton and Roman Hammerling,
and then the Bucks would move up. But this is a hockey. Now, if you're talking about fans, total number of fans, football's bigger. But
Well,
if
it's a
you're
bigger
talking about-
franchise. It's a
yeah.
big, the sport's bigger.
But if you're talking about like
This particular town and
interest
who they
in their
support.
season and following them throughout the year, I think
You want to talk about sellouts? Say it.
sellouts.
I mean, Amalie Arena sells out every night, don't they?
275 consecutive
Yeah.
regular
I mean,
season playoffs.
so I
games
mean,
sell
if you
out.
just base it on capacity of attendance, there. I mean, it's not even. It's not. I don't even think there's a close second, is there?
no,
I mean, Ray J. The Bucks have not sold out the last 278 home games.
no, they were selling out when Brady was there.
They
But,
sold out about 28 of them.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Hi, it's Matt from Sebring. How's it going, y'all?
Hi, man. It sounds like you're like on a ship to shore deal.
No, see the tip. Is that better?
No, you got like a horrible distortion in your line, but we can get through it. What's going on?
I apologize. I
problem.
was just checking. I want to double check with Brian about maybe he. if
Can
he
you maybe speak up a little bit? Can you get your head out, or can you put the covers back over your, take your head out underneath the covers?
Hey, can you hear me better now or louder? Is it loud enough?
No.
Yeah, you're good, buddy. What's up?
What's this guy on?
I don't know. But
This is-
let's
this is
figure
a-
let's figure it out.
This is the guy that's had cancer.
Oh, okay.
He was in chemo.
This is Chemo Ken.
Yeah, chemo Ken.
All right, so Chemo Ken
Well,
from.
I had Seroquel and all that kind of stuff in me, but the point is, I just wanted to say, is there a case if a jail denied me my medicine?
Man, I don't know, guys. I mean, I know you guys are tolerant, but this is a little tough. Tough. This
So
is
he's asking if is there a case if the prison denied him his medication. Here's the thing: you have to show
I
damages.
had a seizure when I started taking it again because it had been a month long without it.
Well, then you've got to prove that the seizure was caused by their failure to give you the medication. That it's a medication that they
And-
should
and
have
Brian-
been administrating and were
And Brian, I
able
got to
to
think
administrate
that would be if you got if you got your doctor that prescribed you that medicine, that would be very easy to get him to probably say, yeah, I prescribed that medicine for a reason, and going without it for a month and then getting back on it could cause problems. I think that would be an easy.
Well, could cause problems and did cause problems, or it's more likely than
What-
not
what it
within a
is
reasonable
was-
degree.
like
Hold
right
on.
now,
You
Hey,
called in and asked
Johnny
a question.
Mushmouth, be quiet.
It's more likely than not within a reasonable degree of medical probability that it caused
Yeah.
the seizure. So do you have a history of seizures, bud?
No, never had one before in my life.
Okay.
And I had
Not
this
helpful.
one
And what
and
now? What
I,
now? What
lost-
drug? Hold on. What drug were you on? Or I'm sure drug medication. What prescription medication were you on that the drug withheld from you for 30 days, and then you subsequently got back on? What was that?
Percocet.
What?
Vinstatin, oxycodone, Xanax.
Sorry, Anna. Sorry to doubt you.
Yeah.
I was right.
So, Anna, sorry to scoff at your
like opiates. I was just kidding,
at your
buddy.
over the topness. I apologize profusely because you opened up with OxyContin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be interested in taking your case, but you can call attorneys to see. You might be able to try and
Brian,
finagle
can I ask you?
something.
Can
But
I ask you a legal?
Schedule 1 narcotics are going to be tough to get
Brian,
to jail.
Brian, can I ask you a question? As far as when you size up your clients, is it tough to take that guy that took on opiates case?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: the opiates that he's on are for people with cancer. I mean, that's the thing. There is like OxyContin. Was originally designed for people with pain caused by cancer.
Yeah, I know,
and
but it's
end-of-life
it's-
issues.
but it is a party.
I mean, it's it's a
Until
party I don't
it's
want to go
not.
to. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a party.
party.
It's a party where the lights come on real quick.
Hold on.
Party that ends at a funeral.
I've had a few OxyContin parties, and boy, man, not that. I mean, if it doesn't get away from you, and you can keep in a controlled slide, it's a hell of a party.
I'm sure.
Until you get
There's a lot of
addicted.
antidepressants I was on
Hit
too,
the needle.
and bipolar meds, and they didn't give me any of them.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of medication going on there, and it's tough. But there's certain attorneys that take prison cases. I tend to shy away from them just because you have sovereign immunity issues, and you've got issues with juries on those cases and things like that. But if you feel like you got a claim, I would certainly reach out to an attorney that specializes.
Is that what you're asking? Like, are you asking the validity of what Brian's opinion of your claim is? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm asking if it's violated at all, because at the end of the day, I feel like it caused the seizure. I was told by the doctors at the hospital, because I was there for a week, that it might have very well caused it.
Might have very well is not
a good legal term.
More likely
not
than
good
not.
legal standing.
More likely than not
Right,
is the thing.
right.
So that's what you got to end up proving up, man. So
Can you
good
ask
luck
why
to
he
you.
was in
Yeah,
jail?
you're a doctor who will actually say that it contributed.
No, but let me ask you a question, Brian. Let's say that you really do. You're really on You're really on this stuff the guy's on with a doctor. You really are, and you go to jail, and you need this. What determines why can't they give it to you if it's under a doctor's care? Is part of going to jail losing your right to be properly medicated?
I mean, you can get the medication you need. It's just it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough to get into the jail and to get them.
No, but I mean the jail goes to Publix and picks it up, or you bring your script, the actual bottles with them, and you give them to the authorities, and then your family maybe goes and gets them renewed and then brings them to the authorities. I mean, I got to think that there are some cases of people that do take medication. How do the prisons and jail systems get that medication?
I mean,
they have their own pharmacy?
They have doctors.
But does the prison have their own pharmacy?
Yeah, I mean, they have the ability to get medication, but it's got to be tough. I mean, I'm no expert in this by any means.
No, that's why I'm saying if I didn't know if there was a legal procedure
they
about how you do it.
probably are not giving it out to people that are using it because they've got a bad back from working out.
I understand.
So you've probably need to show a terminal illness, some sort of cancers, things like that. Then they may prescribe the medication in those or allow the medication to be administered in those instances. But it's going to be tight in there. And
yeah, I mean, part of going to prison is losing your pill rights too.
Well, you got think about how many people in there are addicts. I mean, it's probably one out of three.
The little guy died my second night there because they didn't give him his meds.
Right. Well, listen, bud.
He had seizures.
But I mean, dying from withdrawals,
yeah,
that in that case, you shouldn't be giving them the medication.
Right.
You should be giving them methadone or whatever you need to get them
ease them off.
That's just part of doing business. And that's just part of the prison process, man.
I mean, that's part of our
prison's not all about having the finer things in life.
No, the reality is those people should be put into detox programs and work on their addiction, and we don't do it. We just lock them up, and then they guess what? They end up right back in because their problems are not addressed at all. And so the system's broken. I'm not sitting here saying this is the way it should be. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, why was he in the jail for a month?
Well,
drugs.
What did you get put in jail originally for?
I had some batteries on me because me and my sister and my dad were arguing.
Oh, hold
Battery,
on.
wow.
You hit your sister?
Who did you hit?
Well, they say that I hit my dad, but I was really flailing around because they had my arms in their arms. So I'm trying to get off.
Yeah.
To get away.
How old's your dad?
I see things like this on my little YouTube crime channel that I go to.
And you have cancer. How do you have the energy to hit your dad if you're going
He
to chemo?
doesn't have much energy. Can't you hear him?
That's what I'm saying.
Dad, I want to fight you, but I'm real tired right now from this chemotherapy. You're really pissing me off right now, Dad. I want to knock your block off, but I'm real tired right now.
Either way, he swallowed me up by my throat, and he freaking yoked me up against the wall with my fucking two arms.
Watch your language. Listen, sometimes the dad's got to give his son a yoking. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Did you?
I'm the only one that had bruises and marks. Is the thing, and it's still
But you know what? Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, okay?
Don't
And
lie.
I don't want you to be mad at me. But when the cops come and your dad and your sister and you are all arguing, and there's a potential of you keeping your mouth shut and saying we as a family are going to figure this out, and then there's the other then there's the other portion of the population to be like, hell yeah, take dad to jail. Man, if the cops came and all my family was arguing, I would completely, even if I had marks all over my face where Tara had just, scratched my eyes out because I did something so horribly wrong and aggressive to her or my mom, I don't think I press charge it. And the cops come, I'll be like, no, I got these scratches, while I was playing with the cat. I got these scratches.
Well,
You don't roll. I mean, you don't roll on your family. You might hate family because they're really, a lot of times you hate your family. But man, you don't roll on your family.
What was the argument about, buddy?
It was about people thinking I took their cigarettes and then they attacked me.
About
Yeah,
people
cigarettes.
taking. Yeah, this is about as white trash trailer as you get. The fight originated about who took whose cigarettes.
So you're going through chemotherapy and you're still mowing down Marlboros?
Well, of course.
Uh-huh.
It's no quitter.
They told me the cigarettes had nothing to do with them. It was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah, still.
I'm sure it's not helping.
Yeah.
Right. This guy doesn't smoke
What's lung
Marlboros.
cancer, Brian? Jeez.
This guy smokes the basic 305s. This guy can't afford Marlboros, please.
Yeah, I smoked the basic.
I told you, he smokes.
Bravo, look
He
at
doesn't
that.
even smoke the basic 305s. He smokes the ones that are lower than that are called the basic. Man.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, you've taken an extreme amount of time of ours today,
sorry.
and
You don't need to apologize. You brought some content.
yeah. Brian, we're trying to say goodbye here. Okay, thanks.
Just
Appreciate
hang
it.
up. You don't have to be polite.
I try to leave everybody with a pleasantry. So anyway, sir, thank you.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you calling. I hope that you get the chemo and the radiation, and I just hope you get your life back together. And I hope your family stops fighting over who stole the cigarettes. That's almost a country song, ain't it? Family got in a fight because who stole the cigarettes.
Uh-huh. All right, man.
All right, see you later, buddy.
Have you ever given a thought to being a songwriter, Bubba?
No,
Good.
or a therapist or a counselor
You can,
or anything like
you
that.
could be at times a decent counselor, but yeah, your country writing skills.
Just shut up. Country songs can be about anything. About your family having problems over your cigarettes. I mean, have you heard the lyrics of what most country songs are about?
I try to stay away from country music because it's awful.
I understand, but like if you look at
100% agree.
right now, send me the top 10 country list. Love me. If you send me like the top 10 country hits right now, and you were just to read the titles. I think, Brian, that all of it is not all about I just graduated from college and I'm gonna pass the bar, or my family is great and me and my wife love each other, and no, everything's about some type of strife, or sadness.
So
or,
you ready for this? The number one country song in America right now on the Hot Country Song chart is a cover.
Fast Car.
Fast Car by Luke Combs covering Tracy Chapman.
I got a fast car.
Which, first of all, her version. It was funny. I turned on the radio. My wife was in my car yesterday last, and she turns on country music, which I can't stand. But
Did you get hit for that?
I got hit. Well, she will later. But
Score out a little more, Bubba.
but this song was
Honey,
on.
do you know why I'm hitting you? Why are you hitting me? You've never hit me, Brian. Why? Because you had 99.5 QIK on the radio.
Don't you ever.
You can do a lot of things, but one's not listening to that. All right, so Fast Car, and then
That's how bad country music is. That a cover of a 1990s one-hit
Non-country
wonder.
song. Yeah.
Don't worry, Luke Combs followed it up with a cover of Shenandoah's 2 Dozen Roses, which came out this week. That'll
Jelly
be on
Roll.
top soon.
Yes,
Jelly Roll with
Mama.
Lainey Wilson, Save Me. I'm assuming it's about somebody needs to save them.
Oh, Lainey Wilson's Rhett's chick with the ass, right?
What list is that?
It's the top 5 country songs of October 2023.
I'm on Billboard's Hot Country Songs.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that probably would be the more accurate.
Well,
Brian's list would
Gonna
probably
be a lot of crossover, I'm sure.
a little more accurate. Billboard Top 100.
Top, yeah, hot.
Anyway, Morgan Wallen last night. Richmond, north of Georgia. Again, none of these are all uplifting.
Of Georgia.
Richmond,
well, you're
whatever.
technically
Well, they're right, yeah.
Okay. Watermelon Moonshine, Truck Bed, Need a Favor, Try That in a Small Town, Love You Anyway, White Horse, Everything I Love, Standing Room Only, Mind on You, Different Round Here.
Nothing about smokes and domestic violence, though.
Yeah, not anymore. After 9/11, all that stuff went away.
Yeah. Here's Kevin Cash's And again, I got into it a little bit earlier about how this is a Tampa-specific, event, or I should say topic. How
Tragedy.
this is a Tampa-specific
I just said
that.
event, or I should say topic.
already said that.
Every time I go to a story early on, I get that deal going on. Hello, babyface.
Good morning. How we doing?
Damn, you're behind.
We like to not say good morning.
Well, it's to you. That wasn't to everybody.
And Brian.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge
The reason why I don't say good morning.
10 minutes ago.
The reason why I don't say good morning is because a lot of people may not be hearing this for the first time in the morning. People that download or people that, do it or catch it on a replay. So we always try to be, is that word called ambiguous?
Yes.
About what time it is.
But they know they're not listening to it live.
Well, I know.
So you want to create the illusion to them that they're listening to it live? Is that what
That
you're
they're not
saying?
like too far behind, I guess.
I mean, you don't want to. You just don't. I mean, if you don't,
I
if you
get
don't,
it.
if you don't say good morning, then you have never time dated that show, and you can run it anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
I guess. Yeah.
It's not a morning show. It's just a show.
Understood.
If our pleasantries are just like, hey, how you doing? Now, and I'm getting picky here.
No. I won't. Listen, it's out of my repertoire. I will not say
I think
good
there's a
morning.
couple other things I've asked you to take out of your repertoire. Have I or no? I don't think I have. I don't know. Have I?
Did you give him the new? You can't say the A word.
Yeah, that's Dan though.
T-word.
I know. Just making sure.
A double sop hoppo loppy.
Yeah, I never said it anyway.
No,
Okay.
that wasn't a Brian issue. That was more of a Dan liked using that word.
Yeah.
When he's pointing his finger at the camera, getting all amped up.
I know his stuff had been down, but got on a good.
Oh, hold on here. Jesus, people make navigation things so.
It's part of the game.
Was part of the game. Kevin
That's
Cash, the skipper, manager, skipper. I guess it's disrespectful, Brian, to call him coach. Did you know that?
Oh, okay.
No,
they don't.
yeah.
I mean, in baseball, they don't call him coach.
No, I know that, and so.
Because a batting coach and a pitching coach are different than the manager.
So Evan listen, Evan, we were going down to meet Joe Madden as a show. Remember that Lummy? It was
Yes.
me. We actually brought Ned, Bob, Manson, Brent. I think Spice.
The whole crew.
We were going down like in 08, 09 to meet. I was going to do a first pitch, but we were also going to get to meet Joe Madden. And Evan Longoria at that time was my friend, and listened to the show and called it and things like that. And usually when you do a first pitch, they just bring like a utility player or a backup bullpen catcher to catch the ball. They don't usually put the star player to catch the ball, usually. And so, but Evan wanted to catch my ball because we were buddies. So Evan caught my ball, and me and Evan were talking a little bit before we got a chance to meet Madden, probably 5 minutes before. And I'm like, he's like, hey, listen, just to show Madden that you kind of know baseball more than the average guy, is that the average person that meets Madden says, hi, coach, or hello, Coach Madden, or nice to meet you, Coach Madden, or, whatever. He goes, call him Skip or Skipper. That's because that's what the insiders that kind of know, the baseball protocol, that's what the coach, that's what the head coach is called, Skip or Skipper. So I when he came in, I said, nice to meet you, Skip. And he just looked at me and kind of smiled. And then, everybody and went on down the line and met everybody. Did you ever meet him, Brian?
I actually not only met him, I had a funny story. It was at what was the name of the
Avala?
restaurant?
Ava?
No, it was.
He owned it, didn't he?
It was at the Rack. It was
Oh.
at the Rack. He had. I was there as my single days.
He was sipping
The
water.
bar.
Happy hour.
So he's at the
Yeah.
bar.
He's at the bar, and
and the
this-
Rack was kind of a dive bar, wasn't
It
it?
was a pool hall.
It was a pool. It was a pool bar. It was kind of. It wasn't like divey, but it was for
It was a middle
South
class.
Tampa.
It was a middle class pool hall.
Yeah, for South Tampa, it was kind of on the the rougher side
Right.
for that area, South Howard area.
Right.
So he's sitting there, and this woman is wearing him out, and he's sitting there like the whole time, like rotating.
Now, is he just by himself there catching a beer?
He's there with all the like pitching coaches and the bullpen coach
All
and
right.
all that. So he takes the boys out for a
he's-
happy hour.
Okay.
And And this woman is next to him, this older like cougar type, and she's wearing him out. And he's sitting there and like spinning his wedding band around, like to kind of be like, hey, I'm not really wanting to talk to you. So she gets up to go to the bathroom, and I had walked up to go get a drink and kind of filled in that spot, because all the seats at the bar were taken.
Right.
And so I just go to her spot to quickly order a drink to get out of there.
Like in a fleeting, like ordering type motion.
Like, hey, can I just get,
you're not trying to park it.
No. And he looks over at me and he goes, go ahead and have a seat. And I go, no, I'm not going to take her seat. He goes, no, go ahead and have a seat, please. So I end up sitting down next to him, and he and I get into a nice conversation.
This is a pretty, I need to go into words because this is a pretty cool story.
Okay.
I mean, no, for real. Like, like most people don't get that one-on-one, guys really paying attention to what, outside of a meet and greet. Like, this is not a meet and greet. This was you happen to stumble into the guy and you guys, struck up a conversation. Or, no, I'm sorry. You were saving him from the cougar. Yeah. And so he's like, I'll talk to anybody except this bitch. Right?
Yeah, he'd rather talk to me than her. You can tell how annoying she was.
We'll do. I'm going to do the Kevin Cash post game interview, and then Brian met Coach Madden. No, am I supposed to call him that?
Nope, Skip.
No,
Skip.
you broke your own rule.
Let's call him Skip. Skip Madden. I think he got the Cubs did him dirty.
I mean, he got him a World Series championship. He broke the curse. So.
I mean, yeah, he in Chicago, he should forever be heralded as the guy, should he not? I mean, nobody. I mean, he's done something.
He doesn't pay for a drink in that city ever again.
Yeah, he might still be a bigger star. He might be a bigger star in Chicago than he is Tampa.
Oh yeah, I mean, Chicago loved him. The only reason they got rid of him was when the Cubs got new ownership.
Now,
and GM.
Does he still have his restaurant here?
Ava's? I think he's still a co-owner of Ava.
Yeah. Does he still reside here?
I thought he sold his house a year or two ago.
Yeah, because he was all the way out on the other coast. He was with LA for 3 years before they axed him last year.
I wonder where he lives. Let me see where he lives now.
Okay.
The voice of reason has spoken. More Bubba the Love Sponge after this.
It says he lives in Arizona.
Yeah.
He looks like he sold his house in 2021 and moved to Arizona.
I think I read that his daughter or whoever, like his grandchildren are.
Yeah, be closer to work and family.
Yeah, I think yeah. Because if I had a chance to move to Phoenix, Arizona, or Tampa, Florida, I think I'd pick Tampa.
Oh yeah.
Well, he had a lot of his life was on the West Coast, and Arizona's not a terrible place to live. Especially if you're into golf.
Yeah, but is there much? You never hear of Arizona golf? Like, is that a sex?
Oh my goodness, God gracious, no! It is.
Golf, yeah.
It's so. Here's the difference between Arizona golf and Florida golf. Florida golf, there's a lot of okay courses that you can golf cheap. In Arizona, there's a ton of super nice courses because it costs them so much to maintain those courses out there. So they're maintaining them at the highest level because of the fact that they're in the middle of the fucking desert.
Oh, I think too, they said that it's actually pretty reasonably priced. Plus,
Arizona golf's only cheap because of the volume of courses they have. But overall, it's more expensive to golf in Arizona than it is in Tampa or Orlando.
Well, like you said, for sure. I'm saying for the
you don't even know what I want. You guys don't even know what I was thinking instead of what you were thinking. I was thinking that I actually geographically was so stupid that Arizona bordered the Gulf of California. I thought that maybe the bottom of Arizona was abutted up to a gulf of a body of, and so when you said Gulf, I thought you guys meant like this area right here, and there was no Mexico. I thought that Arizona actually was bordered by water.
Oh, the Gulf.
But can you imagine if Arizona did have the Gulf of Mexico? I mean, I'm sorry, the Gulf of California. If that was real estate.
If that was real first, and then if that was real estate. Yeah, that would be crazy.
No, but just saying that the territorially, America went here and not, it didn't get. This wasn't the state border. The state border.
Really, we should probably take that part over.
We probably should.
Yeah.
We should probably give it to Mexicans and say we want this little area to develop here because we want to develop some real. Because Brian, think about how nice that is.
That's run by the cartels.
There is a Gulf of California.
No, I know. I'm going to go right now.
Yeah. The listener here was like Gulf of California, Sea of Cortez.
Well, technically, the Sea of Cortez and Gulf of California are the same thing.
That's it. It's also known as, I said.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's
also
the same
known
thing.
as the Vermilion Sea.
Oh my God, Brian! Look at how fucking beautiful it is.
Yeah, it's the water.
Oh my God! Look at this.
It's known as.
That's Baja area, man.
Yeah, it's known as the aquarium of the sea.
So hold on.
Every
So
type of fish.
if Arizona, if that little bit of area of Mexico was Arizona, you'd have some beautiful homes, would you not?
Yep.
I mean,
we would ruin it, but yeah.
it'd be full of plastic bottles in 2 months.
That fucking place anymore.
No, the water.
Oh,
and the aquarium. Yeah.
We'd have
even third world countries tend to take better care of their environment.
Because they don't fucking utilize it.
Yeah, because they have no industry to ruin it with.
That's why we opened our plant in Baja.
Yeah,
the sea
untouched.
Of Cortez, the Gulf of California, and the Pacific. And, well, the problem is with the Sea of Cortez, the cartel kind of run.
Yeah.
Most of the area.
The cartel. Our biggest problem is not migrants, it's the cartel.
There's so many.
Isn't it one and the same?
Well, they're intertwined, inextricably intertwined.
Just even in the Gulf of Mexico, there's a problem with the cartel.
Yeah.
You can't even get close to
Like
that little bend.
Mm-hmm.
Good
What do they call it?
Now, who owns Baja California?
Mexico.
Well, not Baja California.
That's what the Baja is.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mexico.
But he said Baja California.
Well, it's called. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Baja California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
Baja
stupid
is like
fuck.
below.
Yeah,
Well, Baja California and the Baja, yeah, it's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It is Mexican state.
See, so you know what? Say you're sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because I fucking
I'm
right
an
on
idiot.
that.
Ensenada is where we had our plant, and we could go back and forth on 3.
See, why?
See,
Yeah, we
there.
should just take that from them.
Yeah, we just take this area.
We need to start expanding America.
Yeah. Fuck, that'll help immigration. I mean, look how fucking beautiful that is.
Oh, I know.
What do you think the rest of the world would do if we invaded Baja?
Sit there. And I don't know. There's a lot of Chinese that are in Mexico.
I was wrong. I corrected myself.
Good morning, Jayla.
I mean, that's the way you make Mexico pay for the border crisis. You take that area.
We had an opportunity to take Mexico. We said not to.
Oh dear.
In the Mexican War.
Yeah. We probably should have taken it. In hindsight.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, Nick. So nice too. Oh, the mountains. Fishing is unbelievable down there.
Yeah.
We used to go fishing all the time. And you go.
Can
like
you?
a mile
You
off.
can't see across it, can you?
What's going on? Congratulations. There's no remorse and no regret associated with anything they do.
You are refreshingly vulgar.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Look, I'm listening. I always think of Cool It. I always think of Cool It now. You know, Lummy, we only have a certain amount of discs that I think we have like 9 or 10 discs that you and Red have made over the years that are strictly copy. Like, we don't get strikes on them.
Yes.
We had like 30, but we've had to whittle it on down because even when you go and download something that says, you know, it's royalty free, copyright free, that you can use it, you know, in videos, and you can just use that music for about anything on your various platforms. and you won't get people probably are oblivious to kind of some of the world. Like not everybody's in the content world, so they're not familiar with content strikes and copyright strikes and requests and reviews and people don't even know about that.
No, they don't.
No, they're just mad you don't play Full Trucker Effect anymore.
Yeah, here's the deal, man. If I was on regular radio, I could bump in with a lot of cool stuff, all the cool stuff, because the radio station pays the royalties to ASCAP, BMI, SoundScan, all the other things. Well, when you monetize your show the way we do on platforms that are looking for that music to give the royalties to that music to the rightful owner, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if people were bumping in with 40s and Blunt Lummy, and I want to get paid.
Of course,
bitch, about to get mines. So our rotation is slim. Over the years, we've downloaded stuff that we were told were copy free and infringement free, but indeed they were not.
Sometimes they are, and then the artist decide they're gonna just start making money off of it.
Oh, that's
but
great.
They don't let YouTube know.
They take it back. They're a flip flopper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flip flopper.
We're all flip floppers. I mean, we really are. We're all flip floppers.
Of course.
When when did that term? That's kind of a recent term. Like carpetbagger and some of the other political terms that they've used, Brian, they've been around since the turn of a century. They would, have a cartoon of a politician and say, carpetbagger or something like that. But when did flip flopper come?
When you couldn't use the other word.
Oh, is carpetbagger a bad word?
They say it is now.
Yeah, it was.
What was it?
It was somebody from the north that came down to the south to try and essentially steal wealth from the south, I think.
Oh, is that what it was?
The derivation of it, I think.
That's what a carpetbagger was? Like a guy from up north that tried to come down to the south and open up a business and prey on the southern people?
Yeah, in history, carpetbagger is largely used by Southerners to describe opportunistic Northerners who came to the southern states after the Civil War.
Yeah. Oh. That there guy's a carpetbagger.
Yeah,
He opened up a new auto mechanic store right around the corner from Billy Joe's. Billy Joe's has been in business for 24 years. This guy comes in with all this new fancy equipment from up north and everything.
Yeah,
he's a carpetbagger.
So so they would come down and invest in plantations and all the fallout following the Civil War,
or maybe buy
stole the wealth that was here, the generational wealth from the Southerners who are transitioning their economy now from slave labor to another form.
Man, how tough was that? I mean, how tough was it? And I'm not saying it wasn't needed, because it was, obviously. But think about this: you're getting your labor for free. You own this big ass, farm. I mean, you're in the agricultural. I think everybody who owned slaves were in the agricultural business, were they not? I don't know that people owned slaves that were, that owned the market down the corner.
I mean, they had slaves in the house.
Yeah, they had slave labor that would help around the house.
Right. But it but with regards to mass quantities of
usually on the plantations there's some kind of crop,
right? Because that's where you needed the
help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, we didn't have near the technology or machinery, so it had to be done by hand. Literally, everything had we farmed by hand. Probably the most, I think maybe back in the day, the most advanced thing we would have would be a horse and plow, right?
Yeah,
that would be the most advanced piece of machinery on the plantation would be a plow that a guy had to get behind and keep into the ground while the horse, was it a bull or was it a horse that pulled the plow?
They usually use both. They use the bull or a horse.
Oxen.
Yeah, ox.
But if those bulls got mad as hell, like those bulls can do, the guy's on the plow.
Then the field gets plowed quicker.
Yes, it does.
Or it was zigzaggy, and Master gets home, and my field looks like a zigzag, and I wanted straight lines. Somebody's in trouble.
Totally see you as a southern plantation owner back in the 1700s.
Not.
Oh my goodness!
With his white suit and just
absolutely.
And
living large. He's like, I got gout.
Would Lummy would Lummy be my guy that goes out and talks to the slaves?
Absolutely, yeah, he would.
Yes, sir.
Lummy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Lummy.
Yes, sir.
And usually it was
not like this role play
it was
at all.
No, we're gonna.
I don't like it.
We're gonna pull the nose up.
Just so you know.
Shut up. You don't have to participate.
I won't.
So Lummy,
Yes, sir.
Colonel Clem.
so, I'm Massa.
Yes,
No,
Colonel
you're
Clem.
Colonel Clem.
Colonel Clem.
No,
Let's not go with Massa.
All right. So what does
Good day, Colonel.
So what does my the white guys who are my boys that help me run my plantation? What do they call me?
Colonel Clem.
Oh, Colonel Clem.
You're Colonel
Even though I've not spent one day in the military, I'm still Colonel Clem.
Yes.
100%.
Neither did
Okay.
Colonel Sanders.
All right. So I'm rolling up in my big horse and buggy, and if I'm real rich, I got somebody driving me, don't I?
Of course.
Brian,
driving Miss
like when I
Daisy,
went down,
Mr.
like
Clem.
the real rich plantation owners, when they went into the city, they didn't drive themselves. They sat in the back and somebody drove them.
Right.
Right.
Driving Colonel Clem.
So I'm coming back on the plantation from being in the city a little bit, and I got to get a hold of my who's my Lummy, which is usually a dumb white guy.
He'd be the field master.
Yeah, and usually the field master wasn't a really astute, smart guy. He just was,
Dear.
he was just a real big dude, in case he had to, whatever, get a little physical with somebody here and there. And he was a real big dude and kind of stupid.
Yeah, well, he kept everyone in line
Right.
while you were out.
He's
Colonel.
the muscle. The
Right.
muscle for the colonel.
Now, did I have any other helpers with me? Did I just have?
Scotland Big Gulp 75. Brian Babyface Thursday.
Well, you would typically have a inside slave
Crew.
Well, you would have
an
Oh,
inside
God.
slave crew?
Yeah.
They called them Uncle Toms, and they would be the ones that would kind of feed you the information and help to keep the slaves in line.
Oh, so they didn't have to go out and work and do really hard stuff. They
They
were
were in the house.
They were in the house,
Right.
but they kind of had that
they
connection.
did they were they snitch? Did they snitch? Were they snitching?
Oh, and they hated the slaves because they were technically above the slaves.
Oh, well, I would have been like, nobody's above anybody, okay?
Yeah.
Stop.
right.
We all got to be fair around here. And I'll
Yeah,
I'll
right.
tell you what.
We're all equal here.
Yeah, we're all
it's just
equal.
I'm a little more equal than you.
Yeah, except, listen, can you imagine if, now, Brian, I mean, I know you guys don't want to wrap your head around this, but do you think there were some slave owners that were cool as hell to their slaves, that were good to them?
There were probably stories of that in the sense as good as you could be to somebody else that you're.
Some were better.
Well, I mean,
words.
the whole
They were considered property.
The
I mean,
whole
yeah.
hold on.
The whole
concept,
system was.
Let me emphasize that the whole concept is wrong, and the whole concept was not right then, and it's not right now. I'm only reciting history of this particular era.
We haven't
okay?
said anything derogatory. We
No,
have
I'm
only
not.
been historically, contextually factual about
Right.
it.
Yeah, talking about
Now-
Colonel Clem and whatnot.
Now,
Well, Colonel Clem. That's exactly who she. You tell me for a second that you wouldn't see him in a white suit, as a slave owner,
100%.
100%.
No, I'm the guy that gets down there and I'm working with the slaves.
No
and they're-
way.
and-
You're not even the grader.
and they're my boys.
No, you're 488
and I go
in the
down-
house, stuck in a tub.
No, and I go down to where the slaves live.
Yeah, right.
And sit by the wood fire and cut it up with the boys
No
and
way.
everything like that. So that's my slave owner.
Well,
Then I'm like, you know what, guys? I know you're slaves and everything, and society says I'm supposed to treat you a certain way, but I really like you boys. You know what? How about taking tomorrow off?
Let me show your dong.
No,
You'd already see it because they'd be nude.
What the hell is going on?
My slaves are not going to be nude. First of all, I'm not going to have any slaves. But Colonel Clem, if I was to have them back in the day, they're not going to be nude. I'm going to give them the finest facilities. I'm
unless
going
the
to be their
girl's got nice jogs.
That's probably
Then they don't have to
that's
wear
probably
shirt.
where I'd get myself in trouble.
Oh God, dude, you would not have been
be raping
a good.
everybody.
You would not have been a good slave owner. You would not have been good to them. There's no way.
I would have
Think
been
about.
good to
Hold
them.
on.
I
hold
would have
on.
been so good
Think
to them.
about how you were to your crew when you were at your peak, and the things that you did to them, and had them participate
Little
in.
Wilbur's Afterbirth 65
And they got
on the
W-2s.
cash app.
I mean,
Cheers, Bart. Thank Thank
Except
you.
for intern.
John Costica, 100 on the overnight on the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army. Thank you,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, well,
I would have been.
You'd have like a big pinky
I have,
ring, you know?
I have a very. I'm
Maybe
very.
a cane.
And you know how I treated people back in the day when I was rolling hard is heavily exaggerated.
But you would have been rolling
Even Lummy will tell you
even
that.
harder in this era.
Brian.
That's the point.
Yeah.
You would have been rolling the hardest that you could possibly roll, and you're just yeah.
But
Here's
no
just-
one loves a dominance hierarchy more than you.
Yes.
Honestly, truly.
I mean,
What do you mean by that?
What?
What do you mean? Like nobody and nobody. You're saying that everybody you've ever worked with, nobody enjoys a rule by.
Well, I mean, if we
Like-
just kind of glance around the room for a second,
Okay.
it seems to all be about, you, which is great.
Well, yeah, but no.
You're the king.
No, hold on.
Look at the picture behind you.
Yeah, but
you're
every-
royalty.
Hold on, Anna. This isn't a me, Bubba Clem thing. This is an entertainment business thing. And when you have when you're the host of a show,
Right.
you have to have it. All the logos and
Right.
it has to be about you.
and when you own a plantation,
Yeah.
and you own human beings, and you have that level of power and control over them, what do you think would happen in that
Yeah,
scenario?
you'd all be great slave owners. That's
I'm
all
gonna
I'm
tell you
saying.
right now. We're gonna. First of all, we're gonna have to. We need to move on from this topic. It's starting to get a little scary. Okay.
It's getting scary and uncomfortable for you
Right.
now, but I think we're away from the
The
worst
slaves are
part
about
of
to
it.
revolt.
Two things.
Yeah.
Two things. One, Lummy, I think you'll be the first person because you're the only person that you were literally around. When was didn't you start in 06?
Yeah, 06 or 7-ish.
Oh, yeah. Let's
Right
ask
there.
Lummy for an honest answer.
No, but Lummy, I want you to be on. Yeah, it's true. Asking on.
No, because listen,
No,
I've
but
seen
I
it
want,
all.
but I want you to
What
be.
would you like me to say, Bubba?
No.
And that's what it was.
I want you to be, and don't even worry about making me mad or anything like that. Okay.
Yes.
But like how I treated people and Bubba impersonations and the Bubba folk stories about how you're not supposed to look him in the eye and only speak when spoken to.
Like we talked about this morning.
Yeah, like that's been Lummy. That's been highly embellished over the years.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
no, you are correct. And from back then, what I would see, I came in with all these horror stories, and what I was told when I started were horror
stories or horror?
Horror
Both.
stories.
Both.
Yeah.
And then by the time, the first time I left with a totally different respect for you on how every story.
What a tight ship you run.
Well, no, but every story that was told were not true.
Right.
Every single one was false.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Right.
everyone that was told when I was in there about not looking Bubba in the eyes and doing this and doing that and this,
only speak when spoken to, and
Yeah.
Bubba Sawshed and all that
No,
stuff.
but
Those people were just loving life.
But
back then.
but a year after, I mean, look, he gave you the option to do certain things.
The option to do it
To
or
quit.
to find a new job.
Yeah.
but
I mean, if we're gonna be real on this, I'm gonna be real. If you want to get off this topic, we can. But if you're gonna sit here and try
So glad
to
Brian's here today.
defend everything, then we can do that. I mean,
No,
or,
but
or
Bubba's
we can just move
once again,
on.
hold on, but Brian, that's the entertainment purpose. Bubba's saying about like his personality and just him being just such a big dick all the time, like 100% of the time.
Look, Bubba's got a good heart. I will always. give him that.
I was flying 18 to 22 people to Vegas, and we all had our own hotel rooms, and I mean, all the Bubba Paloozas that we did, and the amount of money these people made.
I'm not saying you didn't share your wealth,
I'm just
and
saying.
I'm not saying you weren't generous with your wealth. I'm saying the way you ran your
Conducted
institution and conducted your business was that of a Southern plantation owner.
Okay.
And you had to run a tight ship,
Yeah.
And if you're, if Tuttle and them got out of line, you had to,
Whip
crack
them.
the whip.
Hello, it's Colonel Clem here. How can I help you?
Welcome to Roots.
I love this segment, by the way.
Yeah, Colonel Clem, the dumb lummy
absolutely love
out there. And here, listen, if we're gonna be if we're gonna be intellectually honest, Brian, I'm just gonna be dead because I know. I mean, I'll be honest. I would have been a great slave owner.
Okay.
Now hold on. And the only thing that would have got me into trouble was the fact that when the
Losing the Civil War.
when the hot African American girls start getting to be like 18 and all, and I mean, I might probably.
You think you'd wait that long?
That's probably where I would have failed and not been the best slave owner, because I would have been running through all of them.
All right, line up, ladies. I'm going to rank you all this week.
No, I'm not going to have a lineup or anything like that, Brian. But I'm saying, if you're going to be intellectually honest, probably if I was a slave owner, Colonel Clem, back in whenever that era was, that I would be extra cool with my slaves, the dudes that worked for me. And then I think
Would you mind if I raped your daughter just once? Just one time.
Well, it's not rape. I actually own her. I
Oh,
mean,
that's
the
true.
thing, Bubba. You're missing this mindset. Is that at that time it was okay. It was okay for societally to view other human beings as literally property. Okay.
Yeah, well, I can't really wrap my head around that.
I know it's a tough concept.
I've always paid my people at least a little something.
But even the people that you've paid, there was a time when you kind of viewed them as indebted to you in a way,
Sure,
right?
Like anyway, sir, what was your question? Moving right along.
I was going to say I love this, but no, I'm on Babyface's script here because every day you'd have it like a different game. Like one day would be like the fire ant game. The next day would be you light them up and you do the when the ass hits the fan, and you I can't believe you don't see it.
It wasn't every day, and it was
once a week,
and it was brought up.
Shot collar karaoke.
It was planned out and everything.
Look, we love it. It was the greatest radio done in the history of radio. I challenge anybody in the world to find an era better than the 2008 to 2011 Bubba era. It was
06.
06, sorry.
06 to 011 was when we were just off.
011.
We were just off the chain. Like we could virtually do about anything.
You did anything, and it was the greatest radio. It will never be done. It can't be done again.
It can't even legally be replicated just by the way the way society has changed. Like you can't. We've become so woke and snowflake that what I used to do to people willingly is now would be a problem. Would be a huge. If we had girls in here right now, think about this.
Some of it you could get away with, like the liquid assing. And
I'm going to give you an example.
And the fire ants you could get away with.
Let's say, Lemmy, we had 3 girls from Oz in here today.
Yeah, yep.
And we said, take your pants off, and we're going to duct tape or gorilla tape these dog shocking units that can literally paralyze a Doberman right on your vagina, right on the labia. And we're going to duct tape it so that you can't tear it off. Not just a little duct tape, like 15 pieces of duct tape, but then go around your waist.
Yep.
And we're going to shock your vagina. We're going to shock it. We're gonna give you like $150 appearance fee, and I don't think one, you could ever get a girl to go for that nowadays, and two, with the advent of OnlyFans and things like that, these women don't need my huge platform to promote their thing. They can do it well without me. Back then, I was the only way. I was social media back then, Brian.
Yeah.
So I was being on my show and doing this particular stunt or whatever or interview was the only way for you to promote your brand for the most part. Like there wasn't OnlyFans, there wasn't YouTube. There might have been in the early stages of that, but social media hadn't developed into what it has become today.
No, it was nowhere near that.
Right.
Like you were one of the few outlets for these ladies to come on and promote their wares.
Their wares. Anything else, buddy? Oh, he already left. Thanks. Cool. Let's move right along.
Yeah, we'll go past.
Yes,
But I do agree with you, Brian. As we're 12, 13 years removed, 14 years removed from that era, I don't know. I don't think people really appreciate how special that era was. I don't even know that we appreciated it while we were doing it.
I think you kind of like the full content, like a full unedited episode should be put online for people to watch, and all that content is just incredible. And
well, that's going to be available for free at our new BubbaArmyRadio.com redesign, which we're even renaming it. Did you know that?
Oh yes, we are.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, BubbaArmyRadio.com will take you to the site.
Colonel Clem's Radio Plantation.
No, it's Colonel Clem's
Boss Hog.
Yeah, Colonel Clem's Boss Hoggin, white suited Southern Plantation. That's what our new website's going to be. No, but BubbaArmyRadio.com is going to have all of that complete serious shows. Lummy, the Beasley years, the Cox years. I don't know that we have much 98 Rock stuff,
but broken down into
in.
those where you could literally look for serious shows from 2007.
Yeah, Lummy, do we have those? Do we have that box of cassettes from Joe?
I don't know where they're at.
Can we try to find those?
Yes.
I know they're around here somewhere.
I'll call Matt. He probably took them.
Hall of Fame Scott Big Up 25 Babyface. Woo.
Did you say I'll call Matt? He'll probably know where they're at. He took them in reference to one Spice Boy Lloyd.
Maybe.
Is that what that was all about?
Maybe. You said tapes, so I figured
that was a good one.
He'd know where they were.
I understand why people love Brian, because he gets in deep. His prickness runs deep.
See, I do take a little bit of not all. Dan said it's all cheap heat. It's not all cheap.
No, that was very calculated and deep. You had to really, not everybody caught that. I don't think Anna even caught that. Matt took them. She didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
Probably just me and Lummy.
Yeah.
There's the only one that caught that.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, Lummy, we could keep a lookout for that, because the new Bubba Army Radio is going to be. I saw some of the pictures. I was over at Tom Bean's office yesterday, and that's where a lot of the design's coming from. He's overseeing it with a guy named Mike Rowe and Cameron, and there's just so many good people working on this project, and it's a huge undertaking. What we're trying to do, but we took the site, Lummy, has become so old. There was pictures of 25 and Manson and things like that. We're completely redoing it and making it, way more representative of today's show. So there's Brian got his little picture in there. Macho Man, Merch Crick, Anna, Dan, Jay, Lummy, Rhett, everybody except Tom Bean and Lummy. I don't know if you have the balls or who has the ball. Maybe it's going to have to come from me, but I'm going to actually have to make, because I wanted Tom Bean.
Yeah, we told him.
Right, Brian? I was like,
he was in Georgia building his plantation when you were doing the photo shoot.
Yeah, well, I don't want him to get out of the photo, because you know how he is. He's Mr. Johnny Aloof.
Well, what's funny about it is he actually reached out to me to make sure that I was doing it, and then he didn't do it himself.
I got to find out what size. Do you think he's an extra large shirt?
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty safe.
All right,
he's got that Tom Bean belly.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
Jeez.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of dominoes, little doughy.
I wouldn't poke him.
He'd stretch me. Don't worry. I know that he would destroy me.
Lummy will be having this clip sent to his email.
Yes, I will be.
Of you calling him doughy. You don't hear me say that. Mm-mm.
I mean, the truth.
He wrestled at Cornell. He'll
I know he would destroy me. I'm not. There's no question about that. He's a silent assassin. I get it.
I wouldn't fight him.
You tried once.
It wasn't really a fight, but it was a skirmish that I looked stupid on. He actually brought it up yesterday.
Oh, nice.
I saw you were at the at our office.
Oh my God, for a long time.
Saw the little smart car down there.
So and everybody when we were going through BubbaArmyRadio.com, but man, the pictures look great. And Mach, I know that you've been, you guys, are you guys all up to speed? Like, do you guys all have access to the beta that they're working on? So did you?
Yeah, we get a lot of the updates from.
I haven't gotten to see any of it. I would like to.
Oh my God,
Lummy, can you actually email me that, please?
No, don't, Lummy, do not email it to him. Just pull it up on your screen.
I'll just pull it up on my phone.
Why don't you pull up on one of your 15 screens there and show him what the new Bubba Army. The new Bubba Army beta, because we're in beta testing mode right now.
That's mine. I'm beta.
That's right. So, but I got to get over to the Merch Crick and get Tom Bean. Do you know what Tom Bean did say yesterday, Brian? He was looking at all the pictures and he said, "Wow." I said, "Would you wear?" Because he's never worn a Bubba Army shirt ever.
I believe that.
Really?
Ever.
There's never been a button-up version of a Bubba Army
Right.
shirt
Now
before.
he has worn when we had some Radio IO Dickies. Like he wore that a few times. That's about as to the extent of it. So how we all have our pictures taken in our Bubba Army polos, our Brian Matroni infused and inspired polos. The same polo that Brian happens to be wearing right now.
It will actually lower your testosterone 20 points.
No, it will
No,
not.
I'm joking.
And I said, Tom, if I got you one of those, would you wear it? And he's like, that would be something I would wear. So Merch Crick, he's extra large. So see if you can get Tom one. So one we can get his picture taken.
Yeah, it shows off the pecs really well. I like the shirt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you do. Lummy, I'm going to go into words. When we come back, we have the what is that? The Gulf of California?
Yeah, see, it's Cortez or Gulf of California.
We've all come up with a really cool way as to how we can fix our country. We do. And the thing about it is that it really crosses party lines, because I brought it up and then Brian kind of started digging into it, and then Lummy dug into it, and we're like,
it's got bipartisan support.
yeah, I'm like, there's nothing that politically we usually all three agree upon. Me, Lummy, and Brian, and probably even Anna. But we're going to give you our absolute fail-proof way to fix our country. We could literally fix our country, regardless of who the president is. We just need to start doing this one little thing. And we'll talk about that next.
Yes, it is. No, it's not. We rudely interrupt the rhetoric to let you know the following. Bubba the Love Sponge Show returns after these words.
You can just go over. He has like 5 videos.
You're starting to wake up. You're supposed to celebrate this. So if we got right around 11:30. Thank you, Mom. My first feeding for noon to 7.
We all supposed to be in the Bubba Army shirt.
How many hours?
Like Dan's wearing just like a regular shirt.
Yeah, well,
That's 18 hours.
When he came back, he took us all in the same above Army.
That's 18 hours, buddy.
18 hours of what?
Fasting.
Oh. That's impressive.
That's what my that's what I've been. I'm almost 2 weeks into it.
How you doing with it?
It's tough.
Are you down some lbs?
Yeah, I am, but it's tough.
No, it is.
The hardest time is right before you go to bed, and then right when you wake up.
Yeah, drink a ton of water. Yeah, I'm excited for the new site.
Are you looking at it?
I saw it. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, it looks at least up to date, like something that's been done
It's
in the
going to
last.
be your best looking site ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's one area that you always lacked. Your websites were never like top notch. But this looks like it's gonna be.
Oh, it looks it.
And it's mobile friendly, which is the most important. I still don't get these businesses who make these websites and you can't look at them properly on a cell phone. Like everything gets chopped off and what the fuck year are you living in?
And they're like big businesses, find like little ones that are on like Amazon or.
Yeah, but even if you go to like the stupid build them yourself sites now, they're optimized for mobiles. Yeah. You have to go out of your way to do a bad site now. Joe the Supermarket says you should try and push it to 20 hours, Bubba.
Well, I'm at 18 right now. No. I don't know. My last time I ate was noon yesterday. So what would I be at right now?
19.
Huh?
19 hours.
I'm at 19.
Wow.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
I mean, I'm about to play a parody. Tell them I'm gonna play 8 rows of teeth.
8 rows of teeth. Everybody.
Just because I got. I mean, I haven't eaten for 19 hours. Can you? How hungry would you be?
So hungry.
So I gotta wolf this down in 6 minutes, which creates bad eating habits.
I love 8 Rows of Teeth. It's a good song. It's catchy. It's a great song. The funniest part is the Beatles. I grew up. That's my mom's absolute favorite band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up with them. Every morning breakfast with the Beatles on 92.5 when it was oldies 92.5. WY, I forget what it was. Yeah, with the jukebox on it.
Jukebox.
No, I didn't talk about your vagina.
Ew.
Put a quarter in it and it won't play. Nothing. Nothing.
Quarters at least.
Let's start looking for those tapes, those 98 Rock tapes.
Okay.
California.
California, here we come.
Did you ever watch that?
Watch the hills.
It was this.
Anna,
What?
OC, whatever it is.
have you ever gone 24?
I've gone 45.
No, for real?
Yeah, I told you that. I went like.
But once you hit that 24, it becomes a lot easier because your stomach is shrunken. It's not like it's probably where you're at right now is the hardest hours. Because I've gone like 36 hours before. And for me at least, and I have a very limited experience, but that you get to a point where it's just kind of, it's not as uncomfortable as it is when
you get used to the discomfort.
You get comfortable with the discomfort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that initial discomfort when it's like the hunger pangs are like boom, it's like a lot. But once you get past that,
you learn that hunger is transient.
It's almost like the wall. I call them like when I go for my jogs. It's like there's walls. There's like that 1 minute wall, and after the first minute that I got to kind of push through. Then there's like a 5 minute wall, and then there's like a 10-minute wall. And if I make it through those, then I'm good for my whole run. You know, it's like
I got a 10-second wall, a 30-second wall.
Running?
My level's a wall.
Ankles, knees. It is more of I don't want to say like a spiritual experience, but sort of when you start
Time to draw the line. Welcome to new levels of insanity and depravity.
Yeah, we're talking about
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Brian, you don't recognize, you just keep getting these hacky, schwarmy. Put toothy in there too. Toothy.
You can eat with Danny, and you piss off Bubba too. If you were an employee, he would have fired you. Mouthy, toothy, tookie, tookie. It looks like Brian Matroni has 8 rows of teeth. When he's in the studio, the fans don't pay a dime. Bubba would be rich if we could snipe his mic time. Bubba Army, he's so schmarmy. It looks like Brian Matroni has 8 rows of teeth. 8 rows of teeth. We love them. 8 rows of teeth. Looks like it's hard for him to breathe. He's a rookie. feud. Mouthy, toothy, Tukey. It looks like Brian Latroni has 8 rows of teeth.
You can't just mess up everything and piss everybody off and then come in and bring me beef jerky and think everything's gonna be okay.
Thursday, October 5th, 2023. The Bubba the Love Sponge show with Brian Matroni, the babyface, sitting in on his standard Thursday. People, I'm telling you, Brian, I feel this kind of shift in appreciation for you. I don't know if you're just playing it a little bit better, or I don't know if you've changed your shtick up a little bit, but I've gotten some decent emails about you.
Oh, I heard all the Dan hate ones. I'm glad to see my email. I mean, those listeners' emails went through.
Yeah, exactly.
You're glad to see that people that you paid from the Indian click farm are doing their jobs.
Yeah, Dan's not very well liked in India, Southern India. That's
so we were talking about fasting, and I'm kind of doing the Anna deal right now, and I like it. I like the results, but man, it's tough because I go to bed about. Yesterday I couldn't sleep though. For some reason my meds didn't work, and I was trying to get to sleep by like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I could go to the gym at 2, and
didn't work.
I eat at noon. And then usually my new regimen is noon, 3, 6. That's my new deal. So usually, like my sleep meds won't work if it on a full stomach. They just won't. And so I try to give myself 3 hours now before the last time that I ate to take my meds. And for some reason now that used to work real well. Like if you take, obviously if you take medication on an empty stomach, it's probably going to work quicker than on a full stomach, just because your stomach has to process, whatever you threw in there. And if it's it, how long does it take? You guys are all about digestion and stuff. Like how long does it take after a meal, Anna, for your body to completely have processed?
Like to poop it out? Or
not necessarily to poop it out,
depends
but
how
to
much you ate.
Well,
how acidic your stomach is.
Like how long does the average, not to it turns it into poop, but it's taken all the nutrients out and it's no longer beneficial to your body. Your body is no longer using
moved along to the small intestine.
Your body's taken everything out of that food, and now it's
2 to 4 hours in your stomach. That's how long food typically takes to clear the stomach.
Yeah, it usually gets absorbed in the small intestine. And
all right, so there is a number. There is a number.
Yeah,
it's 2 to 4 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so after, so I've been taking my meds like at 3 hours, and they're just not kicking in very well. I was up till 9 o'clock last night.
Oh God.
And I'm like, it shouldn't take 6 hours.
Wow.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army.
So what time did you end up sleeping till?
I slept till 3:45.
Wow, that's late for you.
I know. Hello. That's why I'm a little bit off today.
I think you're on, actually.
Oh.
I think you're right where you need to be.
Thanks. Hello.
Hey, Bob. It's Farva from Minnesota. What's up, buddy?
Hey, bud. How are you?
Oh, Farva, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Anna? Hey, Bubba, I love it. I love hearing that you're fasting. I'm on hour 14 right now for my fast. So I've got, today's Thursday. I do a 16-hour. So I got 2 more.
Well, I'm doing 19. I'm doing 19 hours. I do not.
Yeah, flex on them, Bubs.
Yeah, I'm doing 19 hours, and I'm going to try to get it up to 20, but I got to get used to 19.
It's fine to stay there for a while, and you don't have to always go up.
Now, would it be horrible, and would I have bad results if like one day I'm like, screw it, I'm only going to do 17 today?
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
It wouldn't
if
be
your
bad
body
if you only did 8 hours one day.
You do understand, Bubba, that like everybody's ideal number is different. Like based on your body type, your age, your
well, and the
hormone
the fatter
levels.
you are, the longer you can do it. You know,
Well, you could probably go a week or two, right?
No,
you could go months.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is what I do, okay? On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I do an 18 and 6. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I do a 16 and 8. And then on a Sunday, I do a 12-12. And I'm getting really, really good results. I'm not losing, like, super crazy amounts of weight.
But you're not supposed to, yeah.
Sometimes I plateau. Sometimes I lose 2 or 3 pounds in a week. Or, you know, I think the most I've lost by doing that is, like, 9 pounds in a week. But that's because I went really hard on my walking and stuff. I've already got 4.5 miles into
Well, now hold on. That's the difference. That's absolutely the difference. Your body will whittle away, you know, weight, you know, on different levels, at different lengths of fasting, and it'll be probably, you know, pretty consistent once, you know, after a while. But when you start mixing in exercise and moving and things like that, that's the special sauce that really gets stuff going as far as you know, losing weight. I think on it, like it's the minute you really are fasting and training,
yes,
then you've accelerated the process because you're not only losing weight, but you're also, you know, trying to you know, become stronger and tighter.
Yeah, but oftentimes what happens is when people exercise, they either get more hungry, obviously, or treat themselves. So you got to just kind of be careful that you're.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I
balancing
eat bad
your
when I'm not exercising,
Same.
and I eat great when I am because
Same.
I'm putting in the
But
work.
I try to I incorporate my gym time while that's the first part. That's my last part of my fasting. So once I get through the gym, I still got 2 more hours, you know, because I don't eat until 7.
What really gets me through the end of the end of my fast is like, so I eat my last meal. I usually eat 2 to 3 grilled chicken breasts, a lot of broccoli, a lot of spinach, you know, things like that, and that'll help me through pretty much my entire fast.
I know. Now, where I'm messing up is when I do eat, you know, like I just had some French fries and a hamburger with no bun. And they're not cooked in oil. They're air on an air fryer.
Well,
French
but
fries.
they were cooked in oil at one point.
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
But so
initially,
I don't know. That's probably maybe 500 calories. A hamburger patty with a small thing of French fries.
How much ketchup?
Not that. Well, probably
2 ounces.
Probably 100 calories worth.
Yeah, I mean that's all sugar too.
So I took in 600 calories. Say, Brian, I took in 600, and then I'm going to go do a food review, which I'm going to have a half a sandwich, which will take in probably about another 600, and I'll do way less than 2,000 calories today.
Yeah, and your basal metabolism to probably just keep your weight, you're probably at like
3,500.
I was going to say 2,200.
Something like that.
Yeah, 2,200 calories.
Your BMR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Bubba, real quick, how much red meat do you eat during the week? Because I stay away.
I don't really eat. I mean, I don't really, like, sometimes I'll eat hamburgers, sometimes I'll eat hot dogs, sometimes I'll eat chicken, sometimes, like, so I don't really eat a lot, you know. I mean, I eat some, but not a lot.
Because red meat is harder to digest. I mean, it's really good nutrients and stuff. It's great protein. But I found out, and it's again through trial and error, that I really eat a lot of fish, a lot of poultry.
Yeah, I mean, you're eating real clean, my friend, and you're doing you're doing everything right. You're exercising, you're fasting, and you're eating clean. That's the trilogy. Yeah, true. I got that covered.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, I gotta go. You're taking up a lot of time. I love you. Bye-bye.
Great job, Farva.
Don't forget, Larry Bueller, the Sub King, love me $250 on the PayPal.
Thank you.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. We had 149,000 yesterday on Facebook, so
nice.
thank you for that. Still, what? I don't even know what our YouTube number is. I think
94,700.
Yeah, I think when we looked at it earlier this morning, it was like 9,000. It was 764. So,
BubbaArmyPicks@gmail.com, and any emails you'd like to send with regards to anything, what you like, what you don't like, who you hate, what. Show at thebubbaarmy.com. Speaking of which, on it, I think Brian said a guy could go, 3 or 4 days.
No, I could probably go a month.
You can go a long
before
time.
I die.
With
a week without
water.
If you look at my screen,
yeah,
the longest fast on record is 382 days, maintained with a multivitamin and water.
Yes.
By a 27-year-old man. He went from 456 pounds to 180 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
He lost 276 pounds. In that time, he averaged a little over 0.7 pounds of fat loss per day.
I'm aware of this case, and he was highly monitored, and all of his biomarkers improved throughout this process. So, yes, that's what your fat is. It's stored energy.
Wow.
So how do you get rid of it?
So that means the only thing for over a year.
Yeah, you have to make sure your electrolytes are balanced, and that's why he was monitored heavily. Anything over like 5 or 6 days, they recommend you be monitored by a physician. But
I mean, if you go,
unless you know what you're doing.
I mean, if you go, like you said, maybe 3-4 days
you'd be fine. You'd be uncomfortable, but you'd be okay.
Okay, but where does your body start, like, kind of not shutting down?
Well, it depends on who we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about me, or we're talking about someone who has 100 pounds to lose.
Yeah,
so.
your body's going to eat whatever's easiest and
so
most
like
readily available.
if we were on an island with no food, and we had water, me and Lummy would probably make it the longest.
Well, we would survive probably about roughly the same amount without water. We would both probably take a leak after a week without water.
If we all had water.
Oh, okay, all had water.
If we all had water.
Yes.
If we had water.
Yeah.
Because Dan's with us, and he's set up a desal plant. Of course,
fatter people would survive longer without water, though, because of the water content in fat.
Yes.
So you have more water built into your body.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's how fat. When you burn fat, do you know where it goes?
No, where's it go?
CO2 and water.
Oh, you pee it out?
And poop and sweat, and also you breathe it out. It's CO2. So that through a bunch of processes that are above my pay grade. That's how it exits
at least
the body.
it's good to know that if we're on an island as a show, you and I are making it the longest.
We're preparing for that day.
I mean, because
that's what we're doing.
And I'm winning the whole damn competition because Lummy, you're not even I'm fatter than you.
Oh, dude,
are.
you're winning the competition because you're knocking me out and cooking me up on night 1.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely night 1.
Now, can you eat? No, I'm not trying to be.
Air fried baby face isn't bad.
Air fried baby. I got a baby's right quad
you have an
tonight,
air fryer on this remote island.
Yeah, we got Lummy with a bicycle creating energy.
You're sous videing, Brian.
Lummy, keep biking to keep the generator going that Dan made. And then Lummy, because he's the only one that has to bike all day to keep energy, he gets down to he's so skinny.
All right, then he's not good to eat anymore.
Yeah, he's not good to eat anymore. But there have been instances of where people had to resort to cannibalism to live, right?
Yeah, that movie Alive where the plane crashed.
Donner Party.
Yeah.
Of 5.
And
he didn't have to resort to that.
Was any of the on any of the cannibalism things? Did the people die and then they ate them, or did they have to actually go out and kill them?
I mean, cannibalism is practiced in some cultures around the world. You run into big problems when you start ingesting brain matter. You run into issues with like prion diseases and Kuru. Have you heard of Kuru disease?
No.
Where it's actually really sad. I think they call it like the laughing disease. You just start shaking, but you start eating people's brains, and it's like the human equivalent to mad cow disease.
Yeah,
that's
we're not going to eat brains.
Well, I'm just letting you know when you start eating brain matter, you run into issues. So avoid that.
But like what I'm saying is in the instances of cannibalism that we know that in the documented, instances of cannibalism, like maybe during a wreck or an air, something like whatever.
Yeah.
Was it always cannibalism under the guise of people that died during this issue? Mm-hmm. We ate, and because we had to, and then we got found or rescued, but we never had to resort to actually killing, sizing a guy up.
Well, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's probably a different situation.
Well, no, that's not. That's a criminal sex thing. I'm talking about
for survival.
Yeah,
but think about it. If we were on an island and you and I were the last ones, we'd make a pact. Yeah, they were all dead. Like we wouldn't tell them that we killed Anna and Brian day one.
History is written by the survivors.
I'd get with you, Lummy. I'm going to say this. I would just take you aside and go, Lummy. And I'd get with Dan. I'd say, listen. Listen.
What about me?
Oh, you might be. You might be the first person.
I don't taste good.
You probably taste the best because you've eaten the cleanest.
Well, I'm not very marbly. Maybe a little bit.
Okay, but we're not looking for marbleization. We're looking for survival and irritation, and we've taken care of both of those when we get rid of you.
You ran me through the formula, and I'm the first to go.
Yeah. Then Brian, he's next.
No, Dan would kill Brian day one.
Dan would kill Brian just because he couldn't get in trouble for it because it was on an island.
I'd be the second we got stranded, I am hiding somewhere in the jungle.
We could have a full warehouse full of food and everything, and Dan's still killing Brian day one.
I'm hiding the second we get anywhere. I'll be like, guys, I'm gonna go over here and look for some berries or something, and then I would never come back.
Right.
I'd be like in Lost. I'd be the one who was really just.
But I'm saying, like, back to my question that nobody's answered, and that is,
we don't know, Bubba. That's why we haven't answered.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's
okay.
Like, how would we know this? Because nobody's ever gonna say, I knocked him over the head and started eating his leg.
I didn't know if during some of these cannibal tragedies that people had to resort to cannibalism, if there ever was a story where the survivors said, we just didn't eat the people that were already dead from the crash, but we actually had to size a few up and knock them and kill them in order to be able to.
I mean, you mean like in American culture, just like around the world? Because cannibalism is culturally part of some people.
Well, he's not talking about cannibalism from a culture. He's talking about forced preying on human flesh in order to survive, like in a wreck or some sort of situation where there was no choice for other food.
Right.
Yeah,
and Brian, would you be? I mean, would you be? They could try you for that. Could they charge you with murder for that?
Theoretically, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
If
you admitted to it, but nobody would ever admit to it.
That's why. But it's been done. Probably nobody wants to admit to it because you instantaneously get in trouble. But I mean, just statistically, it's had to have happened.
Well, I'm reading a little bit about the Alive movie, and all the people that survived the plane crash but died later all died from their injuries.
Sure, that's what they say.
Exactly. So,
yeah, but if me and Brian and you just took out Anna, and then when we then say, hey, listen, guys, that when they finally find us, we have got to stick to the story where she died upon impact.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, we did not. She died from.
We tried to save her.
Right. She drowned. We were trying to all swim into shore here, and she drowned
because there would be no evidence of a body.
I mean, we have to say we ate. If they say, well, where's Anna? We'd have to say, well, we ate her.
So they find my phone. I got all these beach selfies on it,
and they're like,
I was eated.
We're on the island for 3-4 months. Probably after that time, we've hunted and buried and it's time to eat Anna. And then once they come and get us, we all got to get on the same page saying Anna. Saying Lummy. Under no circumstances are you to ever say that she didn't die anything other than drowning. She drowned one.
She drowned.
Well, I hope I'm a purple belt by then.
Well, I mean,
you think you're going to fight off? There's no belt in the world where you fight off Bubba and Lummy.
No,
there's
hold
no
on.
belt that you could have.
And Dan.
She could probably beat Dan, but
all three at the same time.
No, three grown men.
It doesn't matter.
Three grown men.
What if I offer myself sexually? Save my life.
Bubba would be like, we just won't eat that part of you.
Lummy, save the mouth and the vagina, okay? Lummy, save the mouth and the vagina. That's it. I mean, three grown. Okay, so look at Lummy. You're what? You're 300 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm 275 pounds.
Char-grilled labia is like turkey.
And Dan's
Dan's a cool 179.
$175, $180. And Lummy Lummy jumps on top of you and gets you down to the ground, which even no matter what skill set level you were of.
No, it doesn't matter.
Right. I mean,
it doesn't
you
matter.
could literally be a 5th-degree black belt.
Yeah.
And Lummy, if he just comes up and grabs you, and then I'm grabbing you, and Dan's grabbing you, like, we're going to be able to hold
And
you
Dan's
down.
going to know where to kill you to save the meat.
Yeah, Dan's going to be the one that does all this
He's the
quartering.
butcher.
He's the butcher.
Right.
Like, Dan, butcher that up now. Make some filet out of those back tries. And then let me look at those delts.
Yeah, there we go.
Strap those out a little bit, and then that ass we can probably use for a real nice roast. Potted roast,
Rump roast?
a rump roast. Yeah, put that in a crock pot. Let me get on the treadmill.
The crock pot.
Let me get on the electric treadmill. Yeah, when Lummy gets
If
on.
only we had thought of bringing food with our crock pots in our air fryer.
We wouldn't have to eat on them.
No, this is off like the shore somewhere, like in the Asia, and there was a shipping container that came on that had a shipment to the U.S. that had, a bicycle with some ability to make a generator and air fryers and crock pots.
Right. Exactly. That's what we got. We got a container. Like those things. I don't think those things float. Do they, Lummy?
Yeah, they float.
They do?
Yeah.
They're that wide or tight?
Yeah, majority of them float.
Like the ones we have out back when they were brand new. They were made to be,
to be able to
to fall off the ship and float.
Yes. So they could try to gather them back up.
Yeah. I mean, do they have like a crane on this? I mean, these boats that they ship these containers over
there's
are
a movie
the size of football fields, aren't they?
There's a movie on Netflix called Nowhere, and it's about a girl who's trapped in a shipping container
I saw
floating
that
in
trailer.
the sea. Yeah. It's, I think, Spanish language, but
I can't get through that.
No, but I think they dub it over in English.
Oh, yeah, I can't even. I don't even like movies that I have to read.
No, this one you wouldn't have to read. It's dubbed.
I know, but remember, you know what I didn't like about Narcos is Narcos was never.
I'm not here to read. I'm here to watch TV.
Yeah, reading's beneath me. Please, I don't need to read nothing.
I'm not trying to read a movie.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to watch a movie.
Right.
Nobody reads movies.
What am I, deaf?
Well,
almost, but whatever.
but it's very tiring to have to read the movie. They spoon feed me, bitch. Spoon feed me this movie. Jesus.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the subtitles because it tends to keep me more engaged in the movie.
Well, you like to learn. I don't. Learning's
dumb.
Learning's a waste of time.
Learning's dumb. It's for stupid people.
I know what I need to know, okay?
Yeah, everything I know already. There's no more information that's going to help my life.
I don't need to know anything more than I already know, okay?
I know enough. I know what I need to know.
So, listen, I teased you guys deeply on before we went into the last stop set, and so I have to get this. I have to address this and give you the payoff because, we're almost ready for another break.
Exactly.
And that is, I said, we have even the liberal and the conservatives of the studio have agreed, and we very rarely agree on anything, that the one thing that could potentially fix our country is for us to stop being a bunch of pussies and be content with what we have. We need to start going out and getting more, taking countries and taking properties and doing stuff like that.
A little bit of conquering. We haven't done that in a minute.
A little bit of, flexing our power and taking over some spots that will greatly increase the value of our country. And so we were looking at earlier in the show, and this was during a hot mic segment, we had determined that Joe Madden, the former skipper for the Rays, well, first he started out as a bench coach for the Angels for years,
for a long time.
Then got his first shot at the BEGS with the Rays, and virtually took the worst franchise in the history of Major League Baseball to the World Series. From being the worst franchise in the history of baseball to the World Series. This guy came in and, took him to the playoffs. He was the Messiah. Then the Cubs said, man, we want this guy. And the Rays, being the wedges that they are, because I've read many a story, Brian, and you might be able to validate that Madden was making $2.5 million. The Cubs offered him $5 million. And Madden publicly said that if the Rays would have matched the Cubs offer, he would have stayed in Tampa. He would have stayed in Tampa had they matched his money.
I believe that.
But we're a bunch of wedges, and we let him go for 2.5.
Well, I mean, you're going to pay the manager more than you pay any of the players.
Yeah, well, maybe in some instances.
Well,
I mean, there are instances of that.
Yes, there is.
I mean, you know,
Pinella back in the day did.
I mean, look, John Gruden had it when he was the coach of the Raiders. I mean, look, he was what, $10 million a year plus 10 or 20%
he wasn't the
ownership.
highest paid, but yeah, I get your point.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So we should have kept him, but then he goes to the Cubs. He's the only human being. Joe Madden's the only human being to be able to break the curse of the goat. I think that with regards to long storied franchises, you know, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Cardinals are your really historic, you know, baseball cities, and Chicago had gone the longest of any of them with never winning a championship.
1908.
Yeah, I was to say it was like 104, 106 years.
Yeah, it was like 106 years that they had never won a championship, and Joe Madden comes in here, bam, wins one. Then for some reason, the Cubs new management or whatever doesn't like Joe. Even though if any dude that rolls up and you haven't won a championship for 108 years and you should have a lifetime contract with that team, right?
You would think.
Please, idiots. Then they ship him off to where he came from originally, the Anaheim Angels, and he knows the owner real well from back when he was there. And it seemed like it was going to work out. They always had a good roster. I mean, God,
they never had the starting pitching, but they had Mike Trout, and you know that was about it.
I know, but he just never.
Yeah, they were fourth. They were last place in the West pretty much every year he was out there.
Yeah, like he just didn't do it. So they got rid of him, and he's been retired
since 2022.
And
what was screwy about the Cubs is, you know, they won the World Series. Then the next year they won the division again. Then the following year they made the wild card. And then the year after that, 2019, he still finished 6 games above 500, but they finished third in the NL Central, and they moved on. I mean,
from him, just with one. So he had basically
he had
one,
no losing seasons in Chicago.
Okay, and
zero.
He made the playoffs every year but one.
Every year but one. Which,
I mean,
there's just, why would you terminate the guy?
I agree.
You figure out a way, and see, that's bad management. And the Cubs get everything they deserve now, which is nothing. Because if they had kept him,
we were talking about that dude.
Yeah. Oh, anyways, yeah.
We were talking about that dude, and then we were talking about how Brian met him, and we probably need to close out your conversation with Joe Madden first. We got a lot of closeouts, and then we have how we can fix America. We got that closeout,
and then the Rays,
and then the Rays.
So my conversation with him after he asked me to sit down to keep the Coug away from him, he just turned. You know, he made small talk with me. And so I was like, okay, well, it's kind of an invitation, because I'm not the type that would ever bother somebody out.
Right, no.
You know, I just wouldn't do
so
that.
he was like, hey, man, what's your name? What do you do?
Like,
what do you do for a living?
And he literally like shook my hand, introduced himself.
Hey,
I'm like,
Joe.
I know who you are. And and so we started just talking about his managing and his philosophy. And
but he probably really, really appreciated to speak to a guy like you who truly knows. He's like, if he was talking to me, I am not an in-depth, fan. I just know, I know a little bit about it, but you really know the dynamics of baseball and his job and the type of baseball he plays and the shift and just some of the things that he knows and the analytics. You're very much an analytics guy, and he probably really appreciated that.
Well, we didn't.
And did you get into any of that?
We didn't get too deep in the weeds. I more wanted to know like his philosophy on coaching and who he admired as a coach, and who he looked up to. And I asked him, I was like, look, if you could sit down and have dinner with 3 other coaches and you, who would it be? And he said, well, I'll give you one from.
But he probably loved that line of questioning, because he had a chance to get, I'm telling you right now, you really turned that team around, man. What's it like to be like? You could have very well gotten that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so he said Vince Lombardi, Phil Jackson, and Mike Krzyzewski.
Wow.
Those were the 3 that he listed that he would love to sit down and have a dinner with. Obviously, Vince is not going to be able to do that, but And it was a cool, it didn't last super long because they were getting ready to go. But his bullpen coach was completely lit, just out of his mind.
Jim Hendry and the bullpen coach would get
and Jim
lit.
Hickey.
Jim Hickey.
Jim Hickey.
Yeah, Jim Hickey was my boy. Did you know Hickey? I have Hickey's personal phone number.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, yes, and he's a scout now, and he lives like somewhere outside of Orlando.
Oh, nice.
But when I used to go to the games, he'd always come over and say hi, and all the I'd get those, those black. When I was big time, Brian, I'd just call the Rays and say, "Hey, it's Bub. Can I come to the game tonight? I want
home plate club seats."
And they'd say, "So sure, Mr. Clem." And I would get those black seats right behind home plate where they serve you food, and they got this little clubhouse that you go back to.
They have the same lady is the main server there the entire time that franchise has existed.
And you get to know. No, actually, there's twins. She's a twin.
Oh.
That's how much I've sat there and know that. Yeah, she has a twin, and she's the girl that we're talking about's worked there since the inception of the Rays. But the other one has come and gone over the years. So, but those are the seats that I sat in, were those black ones back there, Brian.
The Dex home plate,
and I was always a little bit always towards like the Rays side of the deal. And Hickey would actually come over and come say hi to me, and I'd come up into the stands like 1 or 2 rows deep and say hi to me, and hey, I was listening to the show today and all this kind of stuff. And man, all the people around me were like, "Who's that dude?" Like people who didn't know me would be like, "Man, the coach came into the stands and talked to that dude. He was cool." That was probably some of our best pitching, too, was when he was pitching coach.
Yeah, now he's with the Nationals.
Well, now we have great pitchers. We just blow through their arms like they're nothing. Which gets us into the closing up the Rays season talk.
So that was pretty much the extent of your
Yeah, it wasn't too much longer than that. Just his philosophy on coaching and the way his approach
and
was different.
bullpen guy was full lit, and it was time to take care of the boys.
Yep, yep. They cashed out. They got out of there.
Kevin cashed out. We'll get into how we save our country and Kevin Cash's post-game comments after getting their asses kicked 7-1. Rays are the worst team in the history of baseball that won 99 games and then completely blew it.
The Mariners who had 106 wins or 112 wins or whatever it was, and they went out in the first round. I think they're a bigger disappointment.
Okay, well, I think we're a close second.
Oh yeah, we are.
Right,
we're up there.
Yeah.
Science has studied his brain and still has no theories about the things that come out of it.
I'm talking to you, fat ass.
Bubba. The Bubba the Love Sponge show returns after these words.
Morning, Jay Gator. Paleo. What's up, Sister Girl Tees? Steve, the grumpy old man. Good morning. Oh, thanks, Honest. Nick the Gun Guy, Greg from Canada, BR916. What's up, Iggy? What's up, Steve, grumpy old man?
Oh, I know you like looking at food and stuff, so here's, I took a picture of this one. I figured you'd appreciate this. This is what I made my daughter's lunch before I left. So that's her little bento box that she gets every day.
You made that this morning?
So I take
those veggie sticks.
Those are, just like a few veggie straws. She gets those are Blue Diamond almond crackers with honey peanut butter on them.
Oh, nice.
And then it's like 3 slice up strawberries. And then she likes Lunchables, but I don't like Lunchables because it's fucking fake preserved processed shit. So I get organic chicken and I just take a cookie cutter and cut the chicken breast and the cheese into circles, so it's like a Lunchable.
Good.
Look at the fucking dad of the year over here.
Making his kids some food.
And then because of the way it goes around the turkey, it ends up with a star in the middle from the chicken breast. So she gets the star piece.
Oh.
Because the way it got cut around the circle,
Look at motherfucking dad of the year over here, ladies and gentlemen.
I love being a dad. It's my favorite thing.
Really?
Yeah. Like
I liked it until they get about fucking 18 years old. They're great.
If they get with a wedge, it's kind of tough.
I mean,
was she a tough toddler?
You get to be 18 years old, start discovering the opposite sex, and then fucking get all fucking yippee fucking yode.
The worst age is that they say the terrible twos. It's actually not. They get a little sassy at 3, and you got to reel them in.
I mean, from what I see, the 2, like toddler age.
But 2. So the thing that makes it more frustrating at 3. At 2, they still don't have, like, the concepts are still kind of foreign to them, right? So you can see it. But by 3, when they're talking, processing, and able to communicate more effectively, you're like, come on, fucker. You know what you're doing here.
Yeah,
when they're 2, I can.
Every kid is different, so you're really lucky because I have a lot of friends who had toddlers and have toddlers, and this is like a fucking
Oh no, yeah, she's a
tantrum.
And that's why we didn't have a second, because I have not met a single family yet that had 2 kids and the kids are like identical in behavior. They're always fucking polar opposites.
Look at me and Tara.
They're always polar opposites.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want the polar opposite of what I got.
You don't want a Bubba.
No.
Just always well behaved.
You want a Tara, not a Bubba.
Bubba, we have a new parody.
I can reason.
I need it. Where's it at?
On your button bar.
Nonetheless,
oh yeah.
3.5, 4, you could talk to her in a way.
It's from our new parody guy.
A big thing for her is
Florida Stanley.
When we had all the, we had both sets.
I thought his parodies were horrible.
She constantly had.
He wants to become a parody guy. He said.
So she.
We need to get into that.
She's able to just pick up on things. She understands humor and sarcasm already, which is really good. I need that. Because, yeah. Like, we play this game. It's a simple card game called Screw Your Neighbor. Is what it's called, and yeah. So we play that, and so she'll like jokingly go to my mom, like, "This is a really good card." But she's like, "Cause you switch cards if you don't like your card." She goes, "Don't worry, this one's a good card. It's the worst card that you can have. It's like an ace."
Well, that's cool. So she's already developed a little bit of stick.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she's getting there.
I love it when your kid's 3 and can play Screw Your Neighbor proficiently. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
she's gonna be just like her dad.
Steal the Old Man's Pack. She loves that. Uno.
She doing like ballet or dance?
She's soccer, and then she does this little. It's almost like CrossFit for kids. It's called Kid Strong.
So they teach them like how to do basic.
No, just like they do like sleds with weights on them and turn them into games. They do box jumps
That's
and stuff.
Awesome. Where's that? What is it called?
It's called Kid Strong. It's a franchise. There's a location in Citrus Park area where we take her, and then she does after school program every day. She does Impact Martial Arts. So she's getting her first promotion.
The Love Sponge.
Broadcasting from a bricked-in parking garage near the flight path of a major American airport. It's time to turn out the propaganda and manipulate some minds. Now return to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Today's after show. Brian, you sticking around? You're very much invited. If you,
yeah, absolutely. I can stick around. I mean, we'll wrap it up around like 11:15, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Bubba's getting the car painted.
I'm getting my car. Yeah, I got to go to. I'm taking my car over to Fender Works today.
Oh, that guy got back in touch with you?
Yes.
Oh, exciting.
So I'm getting the Crown Vic painted.
What color?
Matte. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever he wants. I want matte black, but beggars can't be choosers. Maybe he's got like some extra color set aside. I don't know.
Who's this Matt Black? Is he hot?
Yeah, he's hot.
Looks like Lexington.
Can you imagine if your last name was Black and you named your kid Matt?
Matt Black.
What's your name? Matt Black. And he's a white kid. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Works out.
Well, Barry White's black. Jack Black's white.
Okay, yeah, Tukey. I don't know if we got a Tukey or we're brilliant.
Tukey with a brilliant.
So we were talking about how we all agree. Now, this is very outlandish thinking, obviously, but I really think we should, as America. I think after we've established our borders. I don't know. Probably since the inception of Hawaii, didn't Hawaii come after Alaska? The acquisition.
I
think isn't Hawaii?
Hawaii was the last state.
Yeah. So, after we got our continental 48, Alaska and Hawaii, we've not, tried to make America bigger by any means. We haven't.
Probably picked up a few territories here and there, but
but it's not us where we can go out and where it's a part of America. And, you can benefit from owning that additional real estate as a country. And so I think
we need to start conquering.
Maybe we need to. We haven't done any. We haven't done any taken over since what? Let me. When was Hawaii?
I think 1955.
Yeah. So 1955 was the last time that we decided to say, okay, we need to have this. This is ours. And how did who owned Hawaii before we owned Hawaii?
It was 1959. I think it was a protectorate or something like that before it became a state. So it would have been
I wonder who originally claimed who discovered Hawaii?
Maybe quote indigenous
people? Was America just the first one there to kill all the natives and say we own it?
Many would say that maybe it belonged to them.
Was there a battle of Hawaii? Is what I'm saying. Who says?
I think they curried favor with them by giving them resources and stuff.
It was also after World War II when we needed the resources of all the islands.
Yeah.
All the territories.
So in 1942, when they bombed Pearl Harbor wasn't even a state. It was just occupied by us. Correct?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It was an American naval base.
Yeah, it was a military base, but we didn't really own. I mean, I don't think it was part of America.
But they bombed Americans.
Sure.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's been a while since we've flexed up and decided to take some additional real
estate.
estate.
Let's get in there.
And so I'm thinking,
U.S. annexed Hawaii in 1898.
I love that term.
Annexation.
Just freed. We really freed them.
So, now I know in taking over, and I have a map of the United States here, and I'm going to go and show you where I think we need to take over and the reasons why. And I know this might, I don't know how hard Canada is going to fight us, but the Mexicans may not quite, be so happy when we come in and take what I propose we take. They're going to have a little bit of a fight. So we pull all of our troops or all the money that we're giving Ukraine, we put into taking over parts of Mexico.
Oh, nice.
Because it's money. It's money better spent.
I think so.
The outcome might be we own more. We have more
better
land.
Return on your investment.
Brian? What's the most one of the most outside of precious resources and commodity? What's the most valuable thing a person can own?
Land.
Real estate.
Yeah.
Land. That's
location.
Right. That's where generational wealth comes into effect of who owns the most land, the most property, real estate, if you will. So if we make our country bigger, and listen, I'm
actually
not just
information now is pretty valuable. But
I understand. Hey, maybe within these new territories, we open up
data.
Maybe all the land we take over, we make data farms. Now we're really cooking with fire, aren't we?
Yeah, there you go.
So listen, I'm sorry. Sometimes you just got to flex up and make a change.
I agree.
For the betterment of your country. And so, why are we the only country that can't get in a fight and take over? I mean, look at Russia. Russia's trying to take over some land right now, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Sure.
so. And countries have done this. That's what you do when you need to make your place a little bigger so you become a little more valuable so that you can be more sustainable. Because right now, I think we would all agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would all agree with having 48 continental states divided up.
It's not enough.
Divided up the way we got America sliced up now ain't working.
Mm-mm.
And if we could take over, I'm going to show you what my proposal would be.
Okay.
And we use our troops and resources that are abroad to do this fighting, because there's going to be some fighting. We're going to have
there might be a little pushback.
Well, there's going to be the cartels more than even the Mexican
fine.
military.
But if we had the entire United States Army, if we had all of our military resources, I know the cartel's big, but if we had warlike resources fighting the cartel, we have special units and stuff like that, Brian. We have special divisions. We probably do have a division of cartel fighters, but they're not near the volume of American military ready soldiers. And we have so many more of those, right? I mean, we're not fighting the cartel that big. We got a couple vans full of dudes that are fighting them, right?
The cartel is pretty big now.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, that's why we got to bring in all of our troops. Cartel may be badass, and yes, some of the area I want to incorporate as the new America is taking some of their territory. We're going to have a little bit of a fight with the cartel, but bitch, cartels ain't got helicopters and bombs and aircraft carriers.
No, they're in
and
California growing weed
and fighter jets. So if we really wanted to take out the cartel, we could. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
right, Brian? I mean, if we really wanted to, we had all of our air support and all of our ground support and all of our intel,
we could wipe out the Mexican cartels in a week or two.
Yeah, exactly.
If we targeted them and went after them full force,
right,
without any interference by the Mexican government.
Let me just say this right now. Let's say that we took Operation Cartel as serious as we did Desert Storm. Remember when we went into Desert Storm, man? We came in hard.
Well, the difference too with the cartel versus with over in Afghanistan dealing with ISIS and all that is they hide in plain sight. Like we know where they are. We know their strongholds. They're not living in caves and in tunnels in Pakistan.
They're living in $1 million.
Yeah, they're living in compounds and fortresses.
They're in the mountain ranges, Brian.
Anyway, listen,
a lot of them are, but we know where they are up there. It's not like being able to hide in the desert in the Middle East.
But before we take over, let me go through the 4 areas that America needs to invade and take over. And if we have to fight you, we're going to fight you.
You can do it the easy way or the hard way.
Yeah, you can call up Trudeau and says, "Hey, Trudeau, here's what I got going on. I want all of the real estate." Here's my first phone call to Trudeau. Hey, Trudeau, it's Colonel Clem. President Clem down here in the White House, and I've met with my chiefs of staff and all the people that think that they know a lot, and I've just met with a lot of people, and we can handle this one or two ways. We're going to take over 2 parts of your country, and we're just going to make it. It's going to be America, and we're going to go ahead and have these clear lines. I'm going to give you I'll send you the maps, and stuff like that. And there's going to have to be some infrastructure change, some signs. Got to change out a few signs because they're not officially going to be America. This is going to be America, not stupid ass Canada. So if you here's what I want. I want to take Maine, on top of Maine. I want to draw a straight line to this whatever this Great Lake is, and this is all of ours right here. We'll be taking all of Montreal, all of Ottawa, and all of Toronto.
Taking their capital.
Yeah, that's what we're taking. Actually, you know what? Hey, Trudeau, why don't you go up there? The very northern little
territories.
There's a little
Yukon territory.
I'm gonna say
right there.
Trudeau.
There's a little spot.
Hey, Jack. Yes, President Clem. Yeah, go over to the top of Minnesota and you're gonna see a little.
There's an island there.
A little blip on the red line there from yours and mine. Just take a ruler from right there and draw
a ruler.
And
we'll make it real official on the map.
Yeah, we're just talking this out. And I want you to draw a straight line right here. Watch this. This is going to be us. Boom. Whoops. But just like this. Boom to boom. Just
Why do you
right
want
there.
You want Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island?
We need some of that. That's good fishing and things
Good
like that.
mussels.
So we're taking all of that.
So pretty much we're drawing a line from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So we're extending Minnesota up to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And then going across.
And taking that Great Lake.
Yeah, we're taking Lake Superior in its entirety.
Yep. Boom.
Going across. So we're taking over Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City.
Yep.
All of that, and then all the way across. And you know what? We're taking New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, right? Because it doesn't make sense not to have
because since and Jack, since they're already hooked onto us, we're just going to take and main up and just fill in all that little area there. That's America too. Okay. And then from my next one, like Jack, go out west if you could, Jack, and then go ahead and take a line at White Horse. And draw that down to Seattle, and then we're going to be taking all that too.
Oh, nice.
Just all that real good.
Hope you don't mind.
And I can build some huge condos. These are all beautiful lake. This is all this. And so, okay, there's that. So then I got to call the Mexican guy up. Hey, I'm thinking
Hola,
maybe.
Presidente Mexicano.
What do you Juan? Just Juan?
Juan Pablo, Presidente. Hey,
Juan
yo.
Pablo. This is President Clem.
Sí.
And we got this new thing going on.
Gordo.
Hey, you son of a bitch! Remember the Alamo? Well, we're fixing to put that on you right now. You're gonna start calling names like that, there, Juan. Okay?
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah. We can do this one or two ways, and I know you think your cartel's all that, bitch, but I'll have I'll have my entire U.S. Army at your border in 15 hours. You son of a bitch. And then I'll have my aircraft carriers. You don't have any of those. You have the cartel ain't got aircraft carriers, bitch, and I'm rolling them right up in there in the Gulf of California. I'm going to have about 900 fighter jets, and then I'm going to have I'm just going to completely. So here's what I need, Juan. I need you to take. First of all, we got all about Baja California. Like that's a no-brainer. It's hooked on to us. Like, please. Like, why should it even be yours to begin with? Like, why were we stupid to end it in San Diego? We should have just kept it going right on down to the farm. So we got that. That's all America.
I see.
Okay, and then we want to take about where Hermosillo is. You know where Hermosillo is in your country? Yeah. So take that,
Sonora.
And that's going to be part of Arizona. So we're taking Arizona all the way down to Hermosillo, and then go ahead.
Hermosillo.
Yeah, and then go ahead and draw a line.
Hermosillo.
Just draw a line. Over there to it looks like maybe Onaliga.
Ojinga.
That's all going to be New Mexico, and that's going to be the new southern port of New Mexico and Arizona. Okay, buddy? So I'll have my people call your people. We'll draw up new lines and have some type of agreement. And if you
Margarita,
we can handle this. We can handle this in a very ceremonious type way, or I fly you up here to. No, you know what? I should probably fly to the place we're taking over now, shouldn't I?
Well, okay. They may assassinate you.
Well, good luck. I'm going to have triple social whatever.
Social Security.
I'm gonna have triple Social Security with a Secret Service kicker, bitch. Go ahead. And so, you know what, Juan? I'll tell you what we'll do. After we get all these lines all drawn up and all this paperwork done, I'll fly down to Hermosillo and just say, I just want Hermosillo to know that this is now the most southern border. Well, one of Arizona, ladies and gentlemen. You are now part.
You're a new state.
Welcome to Arizona.
Southern Arizona,
Yeah.
South Arizona.
During my press conference, I just have a stage and you go, welcome to, right now, this stage is located in the great state of Arizona. So, Lummy, that means we got access to all this body of water. See, the real estate that I'm taking has water involved.
Of course.
See? So, because that's where you get the money. That's where you sell the condos. That's where you sell the big developments. That's where the money is.
Yep.
Yeah. It's where the Tom Beans that are buying $4.2 million condos are hanging out. Not, mud. Can you imagine what that's there now? Mud huts and guys barefooted on with bamboo bikes.
Oh yeah,
that's what they got now.
It's pretty bad there.
So do you like my idea, Brian? That would certainly make us, if we had all that more real estate, that would just make us a bigger, better, more viable country.
Well, if you want to fortify the border, you would take that area, and then you would take the first mile of it and make it a militarized zone, and that's mile across. So that you would that's the way you fortify and protect.
Oh, you
want
to fortify? Take it down to Guatemala. Take Guatemala and Belize. That's all mountain range. You can't cross there.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, take Cuba and Puerto Rico. Make those your own military bases.
I like that
You
idea.
can't get close. So you take it down to Nicaragua, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
All mountain ranges.
I like my Secretary of Defense over there.
Yeah.
Let's take it all,
Secretary.
Bubba.
Thank you. That's why you're on my cabinet.
All right.
Just when I wanted to take just a little bit, you're like, no, Big Papa, let's go for more.
Yeah.
I thought my cabinet was going to fight me, saying I was a little aggressive on the land take, but you're saying no. Let's grab Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. Let's get all that.
Let's get all of it.
Let's go
Fortify
ahead
the
and
whole
get it all.
country.
We have one hell of a farm.
Rumsfeld over here.
Yep.
Have one hell of a farm.
Let's bomb them. Take them.
When's the last time as a country we were on the offense?
Iraq.
Oh, okay. I thought I had a real special deal there.
I mean, we literally took over that country and then handed it back.
No, yeah, what I'm talking about, when's the last time we were on the offense that we actually, kept it? And that would have been Hawaii.
This football season.
Yeah, technically.
Brian, did you know I lost all my money on
all his fake money on that app?
Oh, but I thought Dan was
my
so
bookie
good at counting cards.
No, well, on the times I played without him.
Oh,
and I played.
Well, there you go. You got what you
went
deserve.
From 130,000 down to 11 cents.
You should be used to that. That's not the first time that's happened to you.
Hey, now.
It's kind of metaphoric of my life. I mean, it's kind of my gambling traits are very lifelike, are they not?
There's no way I can lose now. Everything's going well.
That's frustrating, but it's part of
fake money this time.
Speaking of losers,
Kevin Cash, manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, who they won 99 games this year.
And a bitch ain't won.
You know what I'm most mad about is the fact that Baltimore, they were able to sustain this. Everybody just thought it was and I even too is like, man, they're eventually going to be Baltimore. They cannot pull off what they're pulling off forever.
Well, they got
they did.
There's luck involved. Their record in one-run games is much higher than it should be. Mathematically, just statistically, they overachieved in close ball games. Now, part of that is due in large part to their bullpen. Their back end two end guys were really good, but one's out now. Bautista had Tommy John surgery, so he's done. So I think Baltimore's actually going to lose to Texas. I mean, not to Texas. They're going to lose to Texas.
So how mad do you think Coach Cash is? How
he's disappointed. I don't know that he's mad. He's disappointed.
But we made it to the World Series a couple years ago. We were just right on the cusp, right there. We were the hottest team in baseball this year for a period of time, and then we just blew it. And our reputation as a franchise is we are horrible in the playoffs.
I don't think the Rays could account for a lot of the things that could happen to them this year. Beginning of the year, nobody expected Wander Franco to go down that way.
You lose three of your
right.
five starters to Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
3/5 of their rotation. The fact that they even won 99 games is nothing short of a miracle. Even with the start that they have. I mean, there's not a team in the majors that could lose 3 of their starters to Tommy John and still almost win their division.
No, and win
the most competitive division in baseball.
Win 99 games.
Yeah, but the most competitive division in baseball. So
so let's watch the press conference. I want to see, 'cause poor guy's just probably dying inside.
I'm glad we scored the run, because if not, we would have been talking about that a lot. So, look, our bats.
I like that. At least we got one. If not, it would have been the big goose egg for however many zillions of innings.
So they've scored 2 runs over their last 43 innings of postseason baseball, dating back to the 2021 series with Boston.
Really well. That's fair. I mean, look, Evo's really good. I know his stuff had been down, but got on a good run, made some nice plays behind him, and then they had some good at bats. And the big 2-run homer from Carter was pretty crucial. The 5th inning where I think he gave up 1 run, he did such a tremendous job of navigating through that. Not a lot of hard hit balls, but the damage was done in ultimately.
How many runs because of errors, Lummy?
The first game?
No, this one last night.
I think only about 2. Only about 2 runs on this one. The game before
they had one unearned run. One unearned run.
Was it one? I know the one before was 5. I think.
And is it just that it looks like here? Listen, on the surface, it looks like we're throwing just big meatballs to them, and we can't hit what they're throwing us.
But Eflin's been down the entire month of September. Glasnow wasn't as good as he was in September. Our offense came a little bit alive in September, but the bats went dead. You're not going to beat a team like Texas 1-0. I mean, you had to go out there thinking 4 or 5 runs was your minimum that you needed every game.
We got some young players that got some reps in a pretty intense environment, playoff baseball, and that is impactful. I'd like to think that we and some of those young players would all be better for it moving forward. It stings a little bit right now, but hopefully.
So why we got so many young players?
Injuries?
Well, injuries. I mean,
so he's saying it's so bad for us that I'm playing.
Rayleigh was out. Brandon Lau was out.
So a lot of the fans expected Kevin Cash to suit up and get in there at some point.
They can revisit some of those thoughts and the mindset they had, and they're make adjustments as needed. I mean, I just think that all of them. Certainly, you guys know the adversity that I feel like they overcame. It's a pretty special group. Want more for them than maybe what we got, but thank the staff, the support staff, and most important.
So he has the same position as you, Brian, and that is, hey, I'm thankful to those young men in there because we're the youngest team in baseball.
They're not. They're one of them. Baltimore is younger.
All right.
There's a few others.
But, I mean, that we're all hodgepodged and thrown all types of various different scenarios this year. And most, even veteran teams would have crumbled. But the young guys here, amidst the Franco deal, and 3 of the 5 pitchers going out, and just all the injuries and things that they couldn't control happen. That that this is this was a good season by most accounts.
Yeah, I mean, it was. If you had told me they were going to lose 3/5 of their starters, that Wander was going to miss 2 months plus because of a rape investigation, and that they'd have multiple position players out at every single point in the season, I would have said, well, there's no way they're even going to finish 500. So to finish what they did was exceptional.
So in closing, what's next for the Rays? I mean,
get healthy, get those arms back.
Is there any contract issues? Is there anybody that's due up for a big one that we're going to lose? Is there any special free agent that should potentially go that they could afford?
Eflin was their highest paid free agent signing in their club's history at $15 million a year. So I don't know that they're going out there to spend.
How many more years has he got?
He's got 1. Glasnow's on his last year, but he's owed a big number. But the problem for them is with those 3 guys going down, you can't afford to lose Glass right now. So most likely scenario is they're going to bite the bullet, pay Glass now for next season.
Isn't he got $15 million next year?
22,
which is probably the highest.
They backloaded it.
They backloaded it a lot.
Yeah.
So hold on, that would probably be the highest any Ray has ever made in the history of the Rays
by probably $10 million a year.
Yeah, by $10 million.
Yeah.
So Glasgow is scheduled to make 22.
I think it's 22 or 23. It's a big number.
Everybody in their right mind would be like, the Rays will never absorb that, but they just might have to, based on not having any experience in the bullpen, in the rotation.
Yeah, they don't have 20. Actually, it's 25 million next year. Yeah.
He's gone. There's no way.
Well,
he's gone. Come on.
They're going to trade him probably for a bunch of prospects.
They either trade him in the offseason or they wait until the trade deadline. But the problem for them is they just got to look and see what the timeline is of their pitchers coming back. The guy that they lost early in the year, their names are.
I could see this happening. I don't know if Brian will agree. I see him trading Glasnow to save that salary. They go out and get a middle of the rotation guy, a veteran, probably make $5, $6, $7 million, who will get you innings, get some prospects, and maybe even try to trade for a reliever, because we need a real closer.
Yeah, Fairbanks isn't terrible.
But we need a real closer.
I mean,
but we don't have. Listen,
they just
we've
don't
always
value
had
it
her.
that highly.
We've always had her. Yeah, yeah, it's true. Like,
but back in the day when we were winning, we had those closers. Fernando Rodney.
Baseball's changed, though. Baseball has changed where back in the day, man, there were bona fide, bring in the bottom of the ninth, Bruce Sutters, who was the guy from the Yankees?
Mariano Rivera, the greatest ever.
Sandman, right? And you mean like you had bona fide closers. Today, I don't know that you have those. Do you?
Not anywhere to the degree because they've devalued the position. It doesn't command the money that it used to. So I think like this year, you used to see regularly 40, 50, 60 save guys in baseball.
Oh yeah.
And now what the save leaders
25?
No, it's going to be like in the mid-30s, I would imagine, but it's not to the degree that it used to be.
Man, Bruce Sutter, I think, remember back in the day, had like 50 saves, 60 saves, something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Alexa, what's the all-time saves?
44 was the top for Cleveland. And so one guy broke 40 saves this year, which is kind of crazy.
No, I was just getting ready to ask her, what's the all-time saves record?
Oh.
Like back in the 70s.
I was going to say.
Not all time, but I'm talking about like in a season. What's the all-time season record for saves?
Didn't someone hit 60? Yeah, K-Rod hit 60.
Yeah, Brian, that's unheard of by today's standards. A guy that would save 60 games. Right? Because the offense has changed where, I don't know, I just think that the game has changed.
Yeah, if you go back to just 2010, there were seven closers that had 40 or more saves. This year there was one. Right. So, I mean, in just the last 13 years, if you go back even further, it's even more, the disparity is even greater.
When I come back, we need to talk about Biden is forgiving a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And maybe I can get in on some of this.
Do you have student debt?
Yeah, I mean, my IRS deal.
Well, I mean, they got to collect money from somewhere to pay for the $9 billion.
Oh, so you're saying the guys like me? I'm having to pay for this?
We're gonna increase your interest rates on your IRS debt.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate it. I have a lot of student debt.
Oh.
Is it private or public?
It's public.
Do you qualify for this?
I'm sure she does.
Does it have to be like 20 years out?
No.
Like if you haven't paid it. Okay, then maybe, yeah.
Wow, you might get your student loan paid off.
That's crazy.
Just to be nosy.
Not really fair, but
just to be nosy, how much is your student loan?
No, it's a lot, baby.
What?
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's with my undergrad, and then on top of that, I went to grad school for 2 years out of state.
200,000.
Probably about 85.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
88.
not a lot.
It's not a little.
But I mean,
25,000 Americans.
Hold on. Can you imagine if you would qualify for this? Are you
even partially
and get that wiped off? Oh my God!
No, I don't think she's going to qualify. No. It's people who were in public service for 10 years or more, people on income-driven repayment plans, and student loan holders with disabilities.
I mean, if
I got a limp.
Whatever. Everybody be cool. You be cool. All the lawsuits in the world can't silence it. More of the Bubba the Love Sponge show after these words.
Just pay back. As long as you pay back the loan amount, you're good. Like the penalties, the interest, all of that. As long as you pay back the principal of the loan, we will forgive your interest and your penalties. And we just want, I don't have a problem with giving interest-free loans out to students looking to better their lives. We give it to banks to lend to people on credit cards for 27% interest. We essentially let them borrow money for free. Yeah. So why wouldn't we want students to be able to better their lives? Not for free. You have to have skin in the game because it becomes moral hazard. If you're not paying for something, you don't care about it. That's the problem with project housing. That's the problem, when you get something for free, you treat it differently than something that you've worked towards and earned. It's just it's human psychology. It's not, anyways, we'll save it for the air.
Brian, the purple jersey said, $500 if you don't think Baltimore is going to go anywhere.
He's such a homer.
Put your money where your mouth is.
It's the baseball playoffs, man. I would never bet on Major League Baseball, playoff baseball, because it goes so fucking wackadoo.
What's worse, better training?
What? Well, no, it's better from that standpoint, but you just don't know. Like, nobody had the Phillies making it to the World Series last year. Nobody. Nobody had the Cardinals when they were 2 games above 500 the year that they won the World Series in 2007, 8, or whatever it was.
Oh, baby, we love Trump. We need him back in office. Yeah, that a little bit of free money goes a long way. We need him back.
Yeah. I mean, it's just who's hot. It's tough. It's tough to gauge.
Yeah, they support him in the hood.
That's all right. I don't bet on Major League Baseball, and especially playoff baseball. Regular season's a little bit more because the teams aren't trying so hard. I do think though, if Texas hits one of their hot streaks, everybody's in trouble. Yeah, if they can get, I'm interested to see how quickly
that's like
Scherzer comes.
He's always talking about Trump.
He was throwing and joking off the mound in the bullpen yesterday, and he wasn't throwing like light shit. He looked like he was throwing full bore out there. And yeah, I mean, what does he need to worry about working up for? You know, he's only going to go out there and pitch 2 or 3 games, but that's all you need him for.
Even if he comes in and takes like long relief.
Yeah, if you gave 3 innings out of Scherzer right now,
that's what I call
not even relief, start the game.
No, I'm saying, but I still call those starters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because you already have a game plan. No matter how good he's going to probably be pulled 3rd or 4th inning, the longest. I'm saying if they have him like a pitch count. I mean, maybe that's Cash. Maybe what's his name's old school enough in the Rangers, who used to be the Brewers manager. You don't have that big mustache now. He's a goatee.
Bruce Bochy.
Is it Bochy? Yeah. He's an old school manager.
Yeah.
Little Purple said, "Way to be a bitch."
Way to be a bitch. He's a monotone, low energy motherfucker.
There's only a couple of those old school managers. I'm surprised. What's his name still? Oh, Showalter.
How much trouble are the Bengals in, man? Well, that's the thing. He should have sat out the first 2 weeks, and they'd probably be 2-2 right now.
I was gonna say they should have rested him at least 2 games, maybe 3, and then
They're gonna lose to the Cardinals. Josh Dobbs is out there fucking balling, man. He's spinning it.
I know the Bengals are too good.
Their defense is still pretty stout.
They're too good to not be able to. I mean, like I said, the Cardinals are looking pretty good. That's just like the Texans. You expect the Bengals to go on the Texans and beat them.
Who do you think's gonna win, Jets or Broncos?
Well, like last week, he's gonna win the Broncos. And the Bears fucking.
Well, no, that was 2 games. You know, the Bears won the first 3 quarters, and then the Broncos won the last quarter and the third.
The Jets and I picked the Broncos. All right, switch it. I think I went back to the Jets. Yeah, Dalvin Cook's gonna come out.
I don't know, man. I just need Garrett Wilson to keep having weeks like he had this week, because I invested in Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers fantasy combo. I not even get Rodgers, but I got Wilson because I'm like, well, he's gonna have Rodgers thrown to him. He's gonna put up some numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna wait 4 plays into the season. I'm 3-1 in 2 of my leagues and 1-3 in the other one. I thought Godwin would be more of a target than Mike Evans. I didn't realize Baker Mayfield would be back to his best season that he has ever played in football. The wheels will fall off the truck eventually. He's not capable of doing 17 games like this.
No.
Although he's done well. I mean, he's taking he's not forcing the issue. The Bucs' offensive line has given him some time. The Bucs honestly should consider trading for Jonathan Taylor. Because if they had a real running back, they don't have a real running back.
No, but
they don't have a real running back. If they had a real true running back who could make players miss, and actually get chunk yardage, and the shit that we're rolling out there with Keyshawn Vaughn and Rashad White, that would make Baker Mayfield way more dangerous and the offense way more dynamic.
Splintered memories looming up out of the time fog. Lost somewhere between fiction and reality. Madness. It made no sense at all. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show. Brian the Babyface Matroni on his standard Thursday double shift regiment. Thank you for doing that, Brian. Appreciate it, buddy.
I love it. Love you guys.
And I hate giving you compliments. I just do.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
But and maybe Lummy will agree, and maybe Rhett will, because they know how much you know about sports and the analytics and things like that. You know what your dream job would be? Not that your schmarmy ass would ever even be able to get an opportunity to do this, but you missed your calling. I think you would have been a great general manager for a franchise. Like I think you'd be a great general manager as far as assessing talent, assessing what you have on the field, assessing how you get what you need, managing the salary cap. I think that is maybe your dream job, and you would be good at it.
Yeah, I would. That's something, that in hindsight, you got to go into sports management. That sort of career, sports business, really, or you got to work your way up.
It is new. It is easier.
It's easier now than it used to be.
It probably would be perfect in the nowadays baseball.
Yeah, and no, not in the back of the day, but in today's analytic salary cap. Assessing what you can keep and can't keep, knowing that what type of running back you need. And you know that for almost all sports, you're pretty knowledgeable. At least the big three: baseball, basketball, and football.
Yeah, I couldn't put together a soccer team.
But I think you're that well. I don't know if you're that well versed in the NBA. Are you?
No, definitely not anymore. Back when I was in middle school, when the NBA was good.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what would you
not
say?
This trash product they throw out now.
But so as far as your knowledge of the game, the salary cap, the free agencies, what a successful franchise would need to be successful in that particular league, I think yours would probably be hockey 1 and baseball 2.
Yeah, I would say the challenge with baseball.
NFL would be maybe NFL more than baseball. I don't know.
The challenge with baseball is that there is no salary cap or salary floor.
Well, the other challenge too is to monitor all those minor leagues and see how, because you got so many more players.
Yeah, so you're relying on your scouts.
Well,
advanced scouting is the most important tool, and having good scouts and keeping them. That's a lot of the mistakes that these teams get penny wise and pound foolish.
Well, because most general managers initially started the game as a scout. Most general managers started the game as a scout, so that's why these really good scouts get quickly gobbled up into bigger roles, because they am I not right? That's where you can first see where a guy's brilliant. If you got a scout that gets it right more often than the other guys, and that's what a scout's job is, right? Is to get it right. You assessed this talent and went and acquired this talent, scouted it out at a young age, because that's where baseball's won and lost. How your farm system, your farm system is what wins you Major League Baseball games.
Yeah, and it's so international now.
And that's assessing talent, and assessing talent starts at the scout. I mean, I'm sure there's some scouts, Brian, that's like, suck. They put up 10. They tell the organization, hey, these 10 guys are must-haves, and none of them pan out. You might have another scout that has 10 of them and 6 of them panned out. You're like, man, that guy there is a good scout. Then that guy gets picked up by an organization to be something more than a scout, like maybe in charge of scouting, head of all scouting.
Yeah, and you really need to have 2. You need to have a junior scout down there with them in every spot, because you lose your main scout in, let's say, the Dominican Republic, although that's heavily scouted now. But now you've lost literally years of intel and knowledge,
right.
and and what you're doing down there. So you have to have contingencies in place, but you really need to, like, those guys need more money. I mean, they need all the money and resources that you can give
Your
them.
dream job would be to take over Brian Brisbo's or whatever when he leaves the Lightning. You'd be the Lightning general manager.
You know what's funny? The hockey is the one sport that's very insular still, where you don't get a lot of outsiders or guys who didn't play the game.
Right.
They even the coaching ranks and things like that. They
very
don't want
nepotism-ish, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a tight knit fraternity, and rightfully so. I mean, that sport is that those guys are insane.
Hey, Anna, my IRS lawyer listens to the show, John.
Yeah.
And he said, have Anna give me a call.
Oh.
We have an attorney who handles that and will gladly, look at it for her.
Excellent.
So
That's fantastic.
they may be, might be able to look at, look at your stuff next, and then look at my hookup. Potentially, might get out of your student loan. Nobody else has ever done that for you,
dude. I've gotten so much stuff.
No other radio.
You've turned down stuff.
No other.
I've turned down stuff.
No other radio guy that you could have been the co-host with.
No.
Could get you.
Student loans forgiven.
VIP lessons with Rob Kahn.
I know it's wild.
A direct Gracie trained.
I know. I feel guilty.
Protege, if you will.
I'm so grateful. I feel guilty every day. Does anyone else feel this way when you're just you feel so grateful and indebted that you just feel guilty?
Yeah, I try not to
That's the standard
get
Bubba.
favors from anybody, but when I do, even the smallest favor makes me feel guilty.
Yes.
Even the slightest gesture,
yes.
I feel indebted and I have to pay back.
Right. And
Me
then
too.
you go,
Except
no,
for-
I don't
except
want
for Dan-
it.
for Dan.
But then you feel.
No, even Dan, he's been there for me, and I've been there for him. It's a two-way street, and I appreciate Dan and respect
No,
him.
I'm very thankful for Dan. He does so much for me.
But I've called him up before and called on him for some medical stuff and questions.
And here's the thing
he's
about-
called upon me for some referrals and some legal things.
And here's the thing about you two. You two are almost like the Roadrunner and the Coyote and the Roadrunner. Remember how they would go and try to run and fight and catch the Coyote?
I think it was a different character, but
No, it was the Coyote and the Roadrunner.
They didn't clock in and then have beers afterwards.
Yes, they did.
There was a couple cartoons where they did.
There was a couple of cartoons where the Coyote and the Roadrunner would be. I mean, the Coyote was just trying to kill the Roadrunner all day. Like, remember, Lummy? Like like he'd try to blow him up with bombs. He'd try to make saw off the part of the land so he fell into the ocean. Like, shoot him with the gun, dig a ditch, and make him run into a ravine. And the Roadrunner always got away with it, and just beep beep. That's all he would do, right?
Yeah.
So the Coyote would work all day on this really elaborate plan, and sometimes the Roadrunner would be right behind him as he was building and go, beep, beep.
Yeah, I get that. But what you're referring to with the clocking in and out is Ralph Wolf and Sam the sheepdog.
They did that too because it was only during the weekdays. But the Coyote and Roadrunner did, I think, one or two.
I think they did do a couple clock outs where they're like, okay, we've done, we've played the game all day. I almost think that you and Dan are a lot like that. The Coyote and the Roadrunner. Deep down, you respect each other, and I don't know which one's who. Which between Coyote and Roadrunner, if we were to try to draw an analogy between who's who, I think Dan.
I mean,
I think Dan's the Coyote.
I would have to say he's more Coyote-ish than I am.
Real radical. Building stuff. Money's no object.
Yeah.
If I need to, remember sometimes a Coyote would just mysteriously have 5,000 tons of dynamite. Right? So the Coyote had all these resources, and the Roadrunner would just always kill him with his intellect. Beep beep. That's the Coyote and the Roadrunner. Even you guys being as adversarial as you are on the air, sometimes call each other up and ask for favors. Like, I mean, he's had to medically do some things for you VIP, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I've helped him with some research on things and some different things. I would never not, if Dan calls me up and asks me for help with something, I would never tell him no.
No, you guys all. I mean, you guys all deep down love each other. You guys just play this whole deal.
So deep down.
I mean, it's pretty deep these days.
Now, let me ask you a question: If the Catholics all of a sudden
stop blasting little boys,
well, I
Go
mean,
on.
but what I'm saying is
never.
what I'm saying is, like, when you have a religion and you really, really feel strongly about something, like, it's one of it's one of your institution's like most sacred beliefs, and like there's a lot riding on particular beliefs and situations, and then all of a sudden you start changing these things within your religion. Doesn't that kind of take the validity of your religion away? Like, I mean, because like God,
just another form of cherry picking.
I mean,
Christians do it all the time. Jews do it all the time. Oh, I'm Jewish, but I eat pork. Or it's like
or
you don't
even
follow
Christian.
the books.
Leviticus says don't lie with a man like you would with a woman, but it also says don't eat pork.
Or don't have premarital sex. It's hard to walk the walk and talk the talk, and almost no one does it.
You're not supposed to wear clothing that's made from 2 different fibers. Like that's a sin.
Once again, that's the Old Testament, though.
But it's still that was the Old
Testament. Hold on. Let's just watch.
Out of the Vatican were Pope
Again,
Francis.
that in itself, it's just the Old Testament just shows the reasoning of religion in itself. We can change, flip-flop.
I mean, yeah.
We can at all times morph into something. We can morph into something that, that we need to do so that we can publicly still be accepted and make that money.
But the most
it's
beautiful
all about the
thing
money.
about-
If it wasn't about the money, they wouldn't make the changes.
They got
here's the
to
most
get their
beautiful-
numbers up.
The most beautiful thing, especially about Christianity, and it's something why it's the most popular religion on the planet, is you could do pretty much whatever and just say, "I'm sorry, and I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior," and then you're forgiven. You go to heaven.
It's the best ever.
That's it.
I'm not even religious, but right before I die, I'm gonna like get baptized right before I die, just in case there is something up there. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Am I wrong?
Technically, the Bible does talk about it because it
talks about what us
people that
last minute flip floppers.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, say it again.
It doesn't talk. There's no division
there is.
of the Bible that calls it last minute flip floppers.
All right, they don't call them last minute flip floppers.
Well, hold on. What if you constantly sin, but then every week you go in and you repent?
No,
and do the
that's what Catholic. That's what the Catholic religion is based upon.
Well, I know.
Going in behind that screen and the shady ass.
But let me the
shady ass Catholic priest is behind the screen. Like,
well,
bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Lemmy's the biblical scholar. So how do you
Lemmy?
How do you stay in heaven's good graces?
It's a confession booth.
Yeah, now it's just to get dirt on everybody in town.
Right,
like,
that's Catholic.
That was to control
Catholicism.
people because now you know their deepest, darkest secrets and you can blackmail
There's
them.
a scripture where Jesus talked about it, how like if you already know that you're just going to go on sin and you ask for forgiveness, that you will not be forgiven because your mindset.
I didn't know I was going to blast that chick. It was a last minute thing. I didn't have it planned.
It's somewhere in the Bible. I have to find it, but they say like you can't just go out and sin and you'd be like, well, I'll just forgive myself and I'm going to heaven.
Do we have free will though?
Yeah,
I don't believe we do.
Free will? No, you can't do whatever you want. That's not true. You definitely are limited by the confines of the reality of the situation in which you find yourself.
Yeah, but technically it's written that if you ask Jesus to forgive you and ask God that Jesus died for that little speech right for like when you're getting saved, I believe Jesus Christ saved us.
Yeah, but if you don't believe in it, just because you ask him, I'm just telling you what the Bible says.
He's a biblical scholar.
I'm trying to get a technicality in. Jesus,
who decides if you're genuine?
God.
Yeah, God knows everything.
But what if they're? Let's just go back over to the Catholics. They're flip flopping again. Now they're letting gays in. Now it doesn't really matter what you identify. I mean, it's gone. These touching little boy lawsuits are really got them to change their ways. That's Brian. That's probably why they are at the end of the day adopting all these changes because they want to keep their numbers up.
Yeah.
Because they've had to settle into. I think it's been into the billions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
In the Catholic, what they've paid out on we for hundreds of years raped little boys. We were a little boy raping farm system is what we were. That's what the Catholic Church was, a little boy raping farm system. $1 billion in settlements. That's not a small issue. That's a big problem. And so you got such a bad rap and you're losing people at such an alarming rate. Organized religion is in general, let alone you guys. So now you're going to start flopping on some real important stuff that you've been real strict about prior. Now you're just what? Did the Pope talk to God and God said it's okay to make these changes, or did the Pope just arbitrarily make these changes? Because nobody can really talk to God.
Well, the belief is that the Pope is
like the
next
conduit
to God. He is the conduit to God and Christ here on earth. So the line that Lummy I think is referring to is from Hebrews 10:26. through 27. But in that, it actually is talking about the actual sacrifice of bulls and goats in order to get relief from your sins.
Lummy's so stupid.
No, I didn't. That's not me.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said, buddy.
No, it isn't.
It says for
I didn't say anything about sacrificing.
Well, hold on, but sacrifice is built into this biblical quote. So are you going to pick and choose?
I didn't even quote the Hebrews.
Did he
there
quote
could be other.
something?
So it says, for if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sin.
Hold on, Lummy's full hot that you're questioning his Bible
No,
knowledge.
Lummy does know the Bible way better than anybody in this
Brian just finds
studio.
some verse and says, well, this is what it is.
But I mean, Lummy, you got to be factually
this is
correct.
a verse.
You got to be factually correct when you spew out this Bible stuff, Lummy. Come on now.
This may not be the verse.
Finally, maybe we finally got a guy to call you out on your hodgepodge
It was
and Bible
Joe the
stuff.
Supermark, by the way.
Yeah, Joe the Supermark called you out on your hodgepodge, buddy. You don't quite understand what the scripture says, Lummy.
And it says further, for he will not be forgiven if he attempts to commit insurance fraud. So there you go.
Oh, Lummy, are you mad, Lummy?
No, it's fine.
No, but what I'm saying, my bigger point is this. There's these quotes. You can find these lines. The Bible's big. It's got a lot of words in it.
I mean, it says you're not supposed to hang out with women for 7 days during their period.
But it literally says sacrifice of bulls and goats is the sacrifice of sin.
Screw that, Lummy. Isn't there a scripture that says that you're supposed to put women in some kind of period hut during when they bleed?
Oh,
it's in the
Jews
Old
do that
Testament. Yeah, it's in the Old Testament.
All right, so what's it say, Lummy?
It's like obviously when they're on they say their period. They're
unclean and they're unclean and they're
unkept, and they should you should put them off to the side.
So can you imagine for all the women? I mean, if we were to truly go by the Bible, and how much of a hodgepodge deal that is. They got stuff in there where when a woman has her period, she's supposed to go to this little cabin or this little hut.
Oh, mikvah.
The period.
Sorry, that's what it's called.
Oh, honey, I'll see you in a few days. Where you going? Oh, I'm going to the period hut. You actually got these big buildings called period huts. You got to go there because that's what the Bible says.
They do that in lots of cultures beyond just Catholicism, Judaism, stuff like that.
Francis opened an important meeting of Catholic bishops today on the future of the church. Among the controversies,
the future of the church is stop raping little boys.
And technically, if you look at Romans 6:1-4, that's what it kind of talks about.
To say
the purpose of this is the New International Version. The purpose of grace and forgiveness is not that we have a get out of quote jail card to play whenever we proceed with some sin. The purpose of grace and forgiveness is that our dastardly sins can be wiped away and tossed so that we can live a new life in Christ.
That's a interpretation of a Bible verse. That is not the Bible verse.
You want to read the Bible verse?
I mean, I would like to hear what it says because language matters and words matter, and somebody's interpretation of it is not
I don't think the Bible said get out of jail card.
Yeah.
I mean, Lummy, come on now, buddy.
What's the verse?
I don't know anything about the Bible, and I know that the Bible doesn't say
What shall we say then? Shall we go on sinning so that the grace may increase? By no means. We are those who have died to sin. How can we live it any longer? Or don't you know that all of us who were baptized in Christ Jesus were baptized into his death? We were therefore buried with him through baptism into death in order that just as Christ was raised from the dead through the
Thank you, Lummy, for answering the question. Thank you.
Well, if we do want one more example of Christ letting someone into heaven at the very last minute, one of the guys on the cross next to Jesus prayed for forgiveness, and Jesus looked at him and said he would join him in paradise. So there is an example in the Bible of someone being forgiven on their deathbed.
Yeah, and that guy didn't they and he was hung on that cross as he did something wrong, right?
Right.
He was a criminal.
Right. So
and God asked him, "Do you forgive? Are you asking for forgiveness? Are you like he talked to him for a couple hours on that
but you don't think if Bubba was right next to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that he wouldn't be.
Come on, Jesus, let me off my stuff, brother. Come on.
He'd be truly sorry at that point.
Jesus, I've done a lot of bad stuff.
I'm just saying, why are you trying to keep Bubba out of heaven, Lummy?
I'm not.
No, you totally are.
I am.
You're trying to say Bubba can't do what his plan was.
I don't want to go to heaven.
Which is just to say I'm
Hell's
sorry.
More fun.
I want to go. I don't want to go to heaven.
Takesy backsies.
controversial topics, whether priests can marry or women can become deacons, and if priests can bless same-sex marriages.
See, so
oh my God.
Hold on now. That is almost like the foundation of what the whole damn place is built upon.
CBS's Chris Litt.
Priests can't be married. Women can't be priests. And no homosexuals. None. Zero, please. But But all of our priests could be homosexual because all we're attracted to are little boys. And you know what? You can say that I'm trying to be outlandish, but there's over $1 billion in settlements that say I'm right.
Well, there's a new video out too that says it looks like the Pope is racist too.
Great.
Say is in Rome.
Which just goes to show you how unreal. Because if you're really the Pope, you would love all people, white people and black people.
I sent you
Those are the only two kinds of people.
All of them.
Yeah, so you're not really the closest thing to God. I would call the Pope a fraud.
If you're thinking about being my Pope now, it don't matter if you're black or white.
So what is this right here I'm seeing?
This is what people are saying. He's racist.
Oh, I can't wait. Where's the black guy? Does he fist bump the black guy?
He pushes right by him.
Oh, man. I mean, hold on now.
Well,
so
Jesus.
Hold on. The two.
One of these is not like the other.
Two white guys come up to him, and it's all big, handshaking, a real big, cool, talking a little bit. Then the black guy comes up, and the Pope actually tries to push him away.
He shoos him away. He shoos him. Maybe his breath stunk or something.
No, maybe he's black.
He shook his hand, and then he proceeds to shake the other people's hands.
I'm telling you right now, man. I would think that somebody that would say the Pope was racist would be that's like somebody.
No, there's no defending this. This is pretty bad.
He is like he's the Pope is racist.
Yeah.
Like this is I don't want to hear anything I don't even want to hear the counter argument to you saying that he's not because this is very obvious.
He turned his head away from him.
And very wrong.
He's making out with this guy.
Now kiss this cheek, kiss that cheek.
He turned my other cheek.
Oh yeah, you're the best. Oh, hold on, a black guy. Oh hell no, get the hell out of here.
And even he looks disappointed.
Yeah, and even he looks like if he could go back to his wheelchair guy and said, "Why didn't you push me by that guy, you son of a bitch?"
Hypothetical. Maybe the last time the two of them did this, instead of like giving a peck on the cheek, he licked it. And he's like, you're not getting me again.
God,
you're not getting me again, you dirty dog.
Quit sticking up for the Pope.
Or maybe the black guy says something like, "You white devil," and then he's like, "Get out of here."
No, maybe the Pope is racist. I think that's. I mean, we can sit here and cut this any way you want it, but here's the bottom line: is the Pope doesn't like black people.
We need more information. It looks bad, but we need more. Yes,
I don't
we
need.
do.
I don't need a lick of bit. I don't
need more
need
information.
any more information.
All right.
I've seen enough.
Yep.
Even Babyface has said, "Yep."
Doesn't look good.
I mean,
well, we need more
right now we're
information.
leaning towards a guilty verdict.
Yeah,
And Brian likes to give everybody a pass. So. I mean, the Pope. I'm just gonna say it. The Pope is racist, man.
That's the current Pope.
Racist son of a bitch.
Who is it? Francis?
Yeah, Francis.
Benedict? I always forget.
Around the world, bishops gathering and sometimes clashing on hot-button issues. But the biggest bombshell dropped before the synod even began, with Francis this week publishing a letter opening the door for priests to bless same-sex unions. We cannot be judges who only deny...
PCAPs.
So now, the Pope can bless, same-sex marriages.
That's great.
Reject and exclude, declared the pontiff.
Hold on. Which is what he should have probably been doing all along, but for a zillion years you've been so anti this, right? You weren't cool about this just up until just a few days ago, because you gotta be. Because you've sinned so much. Oh, the hundreds of thousands of little boys.
Who's this guy?
For people,
Oh, sorry.
we want to believe that God blesses our love.
That's Jamie.
Jaime.
Jamie Manson, a women's rights activist and devout Catholic.
There you go. See?
Okay.
Women's rights activist
Why do you want
and
to be
devout.
part
Does
of
the
a
change
group that
opens the
hates
church?
you?
Just listen to see what Jamie's got to say. Shut up.
Tent for LGBTQ couples, like her and her partner of 4 years.
Yeah, they want to be Catholics
They
too.
went to the same doctor for their nose.
We want to be Catholic. Sis.
Affirming and embracing everyone only makes the church stronger.
She needs to get those hanging moles off of her neck. Look at that. Bam, 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 bam. Dan could laser them right off. Why would you have hanging moles on your neck when you can easily take them off? Can't you see in the mirror that you got hanging moles on your neck?
Maybe your partner.
Are they skin tags?
Yeah, they're skin tags.
They have a Dr. Scholl's removed, home removal thing that you can just freeze it off
It
on
is
your
a
own.
very slim minority of Catholics.
We need to send our Dr. Scholl's home skin tag removal kit immediately.
Maybe they don't have it in Vatican City yet.
To same-sex unions.
That's what they wish, but it's not.
Father Gerald Murray is a conservative priest from Manhattan.
For the Pope to say that priests and bishops can find a way to do this, it's wrong. He shouldn't do it.
Oh, these guys will be killed.
Oof.
What's the harm in making this tent, so to speak, bigger for more people?
The harm is that it contradicts Catholic teaching.
Yeah,
American
it goes
conservative
against
leaders
their
in the
main
Catholic
book.
Church have warned that if Francis doesn't stick to doctrine, he could provoke a permanent split. In his homily to open the meeting, Francis made it clear where his focus lies.
Tutti.
He said, everyone must be
I thought he
allowed
was saying
in.
Tuki Tuki.
Yeah.
He's giving me a tuki. Okay. Yay for the Pope giving us a tuki.
Pope Francis called some of his conservative critics in the U.S. backwards. As for blessing same-sex unions, Pope Francis says this shouldn't give the impression that they're on par with heterosexual marriages, still the only marriages the Catholic Church recognizes.
Okay.
Nora?
All right.
Quite a story. Chris Livesay, thank you very much.
Quite a story. Quite a bunch of nonsense. Lummy, we have a new parody
Yes, from
song.
our new parody guy.
No, hold on. We have not determined that Florida Stanley is on par to be called a new parody guy.
Oh, well, this song may help.
This is
him.
only what he's had. What I'm sorry, and this.
Well,
is
he
his,
had one before that too. That you
was
pretty
horrible.
much took a crap on. Yeah.
All right, so of the ones I can remember, the first one that was good was I'm sorry.
But
Yes.
it wasn't even really a song. It was just a spoken word thing.
But it was funny. It was
fun. Look, I'm not saying it was bad.
Right.
But it's not a parody song.
Well, according to
But
his
it's a
email,
parody.
According to his email, he would like to make this his first official parody. He worked on it. He performed it. He wrote it. He sang it, and he edited it.
But we just can't loop him into the glorious three. You know, we have three parody guys. Name them off, Lummy. Our three recognized
Dark Match
Bubba
Steve,
Army parody guys.
The
trilogy,
Steve.
if you will.
Yep.
Dark Match Steve.
The real John from Naples. And Carlos Mandingo III.
Those are the three.
Yes.
And
they have
Stanley Steamer wants to get into into that group.
Yes, he said he wants to try to work his.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to first bless it, like the Bubba Pope that I am, and then we're gonna have to send it to. The three bishops. The three bishops have to give me that they're okay with it, and then I, as Bubba Francis, will either anoint it in him or not.
He can't get it from one parody.
No,
though.
it's gonna have to be at least 10.
Yeah, 10. Of
Or
course.
does he have like 3 lined up?
No.
I mean, this may take a while. This may take a while. Lummy.
I think Lummy's saying he's not going to make it past this one.
No, it's his first parody. I said, let's just listen to it.
So, okay, if you want to enter this competition, Stanley Steiner, listen, this is your first. No, I think I'm sorry. I'm sorry could be your first one, and that's approved.
Okay.
And you have to have 10 approved songs in order to be considered by the three bishops to be presented to me as the fourth bishop.
Do you have to get 10 before you get 3 bad ones? Like, how do you permanently eliminate yourself from the pool?
I don't know. It's just going to be based on feel. Like, if I get like 3 bad ones in a row, I may say, okay, it's over. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave myself fairly open-ended, Brian.
That's smart.
The contest could end at any time.
Yeah, so I got him down for right now 1 approved.
Yes, 1 approved.
Yep.
Yes, and once he gets 10 approved, then if I'll throw it to a bishop vote, and then the bishops, the three current wise men, if you will, if they say yes, we don't have a problem with him being the 4th wise man, song man, then I, as the Pope, will then take that in consideration in my decision. I'll either anoint him or not as, a new song parody guy.
Sounds good.
Well, what's it called?
Nonetheless.
Oh, I'm assuming it's about how many times I say nonetheless.
I believe so, yes.
All right. Okay. We'll do that next.
Someone just spin him like a simpleton?
God, you guys are imbeciles.
Listen. More of the Bubba the Love Sponge show after these words.
Just got a message from school. My daughter's class has a confirmed case of head lice.
Oh, nice. Get the peanut butter ready.
Yeah, mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is the easiest way. Peanut butter's a little thick.
But they use it too?
anything that suffocates them. So, but the mayonnaise is easier because it spreads easier.
You got to put it on her head.
Well, she doesn't have lice yet that we know of. There was a kid yesterday they sent to school yesterday that the parents called today and said, "Oh, oops, our kid has lice." Yeah, my daughter has a shit ton of stuffed animals. I can't have.
You'd have to probably get all that dry cleaned or something, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But if she doesn't have them, then they don't.
Well, that's the whole thing is we're gonna.
So if she comes home, she doesn't have them.
Well, we're checking her. I may mayonnaise her head anyways.
That's what I'm saying. You mayonnaise her head just to double trouble. Send her to school. In case there's one in there.
Just send her with globs of mayonnaise falling off.
Plastic all over it.
With a hairnet thing, like one of those plastic shower caps.
Hey, you should slather her up with mayonnaise every day as a deterrent.
Yeah.
They won't jump on her head.
Well, she doesn't have it yet, but you notice like whenever you mention head lice, your head immediately starts itching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'm now already. I'm like, oh fuck. It's such a psychosomatic response to hearing that.
Christ the Redeemer.
Glows pink. I could cure all of you of breast cancer, but I don't.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I only give you the challenges that you can handle. If you can't handle it, sorry.
But then when you die, then it's,
But that's your gift. You get to go to the kingdom of heaven.
Right,
you know?
God.
That's
and
the payoff.
God had what is it? What did they say? Like, God had a plan for you?
It was all part of his plan.
Yeah.
To make you suffer and to make your daughter grow up without a mommy. You know, that's part of his plan.
You don't do any religious stuff, do you?
I got out of it when I was 8. My parents made me make communion.
That's a Catholic deal.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm like, I'm gonna do this for you guys, but I'm out. I was like, this is weird. It doesn't make sense to me. It's the
Even
whole.
at 8.
Even at 8, I was like, this whole thing is just off. It's like men are walking around in dresses with boys, you know, like that. The whole thing. The chants. I was like, I mean, it's fucking weird shit, and I don't want any part of it. So I got them. It was back in the day. They actually let me start staying home, and the rest of the family went. But then they all were like, my brother and sister, who didn't care. You know, my brother actually probably would have liked to have been sexually abused, but he's gay now. But I know. I understand. I'm joking.
No,
it's bad joke. They were like, well, Brian's not going, we're not going. Then eventually my parents stopped. And then I just...
You pulled your whole family away from God.
No, I pulled my whole family away from a corrupt institution that
from God.
that supports the rape of children.
No one loves Catholicism more than me, okay?
Loves it?
Yeah.
Oh. Why?
Well, no, I was kidding because I was giving you shit.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, no, it's corrupt. I'm like, no, it's not. It's great. See, even Scout hates fucking the Catholic Church. What I think is so funny and like such a weird flex is like the Romans ended up killing Jesus, yet the center of Catholicism and Christianity is in Rome.
Hold on, I have to apologize to Joe because I made a bad joke. Whoops, I said Co instead of Joe. What were you saying now?
I said it's interesting that the Romans ended up killing Jesus because he was like a heretic and whatever, and then now the center of Catholicism is in Rome.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So they're like, oh my bad, now it's ours, and the center of the whole religion is in Vatican.
And I think it's reclaiming, just like with the N-word. You take it back. You take back the power from that whole incident.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's always been hilarious to me is that the hatred for Jewish people, because without the Jews crucifying Jesus, you don't have a Messiah. And
the Romans did, but apparently one person turned him in.
Yeah.
Judas.
Yes, Judas.
But anyways.
Yes.
By the way, you guys don't stop.
What?
You don't have to stop.
Oh no, I don't want to upset you anymore.
You don't upset me.
Yes, I do.
No, because you mean there's different ways that people will preach on the Bible.
Listen, I know it's the most interpretable intentionally interpretable book ever written.
Like some people will say that homosexuality is not allowed in heaven, and people can look at a book.
Do you believe all dogs go to heaven?
Yeah, First John. I think it's First John. One of the ones in First John says, I think if you walk with Jesus, no matter what,
Well, Catholicism though, an unbaptized baby goes to purgatory. They don't get in.
That's the worst.
I'm not the Catholic, so I don't.
I know,
No,
but I mean,
Whatever, close enough.
No, Catholics are way.
you have to wash away that original sin, or you go to hell.
Whatever, dude.
Sorry, kid, you didn't make it around long enough. But this was God's plan for you. Was to be stuck in purgatory for the rest
So
of
if
your
you die as like a little baby before you're baptized, you go to purgatory forever?
Yes.
Let me why?
No, in Catholicism, not Lummy's
Yeah, I don't even know that's in the Bible. I don't even know that's in the Bible.
It may be a man. Well, no, the washing away of original sin is the whole point
But
of
he
that.
never made an original.
I like you. Do you like me? All gimmicks, willies, Joneses, McGillicuddies, shenanigans, hickeys, and bamboozles are property of Bubba the Love Sponge Enterprises. Great success! All violations will be dealt with swiftly and painfully. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
High five.
Been with us for a long time. Just got a renewal. Love these guys. And it's because the Bubba Army goes to getsuperbeats.com.
Promo code Bubba.
And they use the promo code Bubba, which gets you an unbelievable... Well, it's going to get you a free 30-day supply and then 15% off your first order. And it all starts and stops by going to getsuperbeats.com.
Promo code Bubba.
GET Super BEETS.com.
Promo code Bubba.
Paired with a healthy lifestyle, the antioxidants in Super Beats are clinically shown to be nearly 2 times more effective in promoting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. 30,000 5-star reviews. Super Beat Heart Chews support healthy circulation. And so you not only get blood pressure support, but you also get productive, heart-healthy energy without the crash. Again, getsuperbeats.com.
Promo code Bubba.
Promo code Bubba. Been with them, God, I think almost a year now, Lummy?
Yeah.
Thank you, Super Beats. I know that the human brand, Lummy, that they're manufacturing, or they have like some other products, the Neuro 40 and the Super Grapes. So I need to ask the advertising agency, can we start doing some of those too?
Yeah.
To mix it up a little bit. GetSuperBeats.com.
Promo code Bubba.
Lummy, we have the new parody song, and this would be the second submission of Stanley Steamer.
Yeah, Florida Stanley.
Florida Stanley Steamer. And his and the rules that we're going by, the loose knit rules we're going by, is that he'd like to be a new song guy. We have 3 of those men, 3 of those wise men with those bishops, and he'd like to enter into that really, really exclusive club. And I've said that if he had 10 parody elements, like, I'm sorry, Brian tried to get it on technicality. It's not technically a song. It's kind of a spoken word deal, but it's a parody.
No, from that, but somebody had used a specific term, parody song, and
yeah, we're not
parody songwriters.
We're just going to go with parody. So 10 parodies. And I'm sorry was your first submission, and I got approved. Once you get 10 approvals, now if you get like 5 or 6 denials, like, I might just cut the comp, like say, listen, you're just not cut out for this kid.
I'd like to nominate the merch crick.
She hasn't made one.
Yeah, she has the best parodies I've ever seen.
Oh dear.
Did you come up with that on your own, or did you get that from chat?
No, that was my own.
Because there's a lot writing on this.
It was my own.
They're double D's.
So, Lummy, the song of this, which would be the second submission of Florida Stanley Steamer, is called Nonetheless.
Nonetheless.
Now, you're Hulk Hogan, and you're one of the most famous people in the world. Your newest wife already comes with a gimmick title.
What happened to Linda?
And you know who should have written me the biggest thank you letter ever? Her.
I lost it all back then. Nonetheless, they tried to take my thing.
No.
Nonetheless.
Whoa, what?
No.
Are you trying to do like a Ramones gimmick?
No, it's Blink 182.
Yeah.
And
all this. No, what is it?
And it's horrible?
I mean, usually they sing on rhythm.
Hold on.
and in tone and
Now,
key.
you're Hulk Hogan, and you're one of the most famous people in the
Hit the
world.
wrong
Your
button.
newest
We're gonna
wife
have to
already
listen to
comes
it all.
with a gimmick title.
All of it. Before we interrupt you.
And you know who should have written me the biggest thank you letter ever? Her.
I lost it all back then. Nonetheless, they tried to take my fame. Nonetheless, I let Hogan blast my wife. Nonetheless, I sat in my office and ate. Nonetheless, show me what I did wrong. Nonetheless, show me what I deserve. Nonetheless, Mark Hogan's such a tool. Nonetheless, you can get philosophical too. Nonetheless,
This shock jock has more time on the internet. Maybe you'll realize he's not going anywhere.
I need to check with my lawyers to see if I can talk about that, because I think I might be able to.
Where do we go from here? Turn on the beer and up now. Smile from ear to ear. Nonetheless, knowing I'm coming back now. Nonetheless, show me my Twitch numbers. Nonetheless, show me your YouTube views. Nonetheless, we're taking you out too slow. Nonetheless, you've taken enough low blows. Nonetheless.
Lummy, that was 14 nonethelesses in under a minute. Is that enough to fill the sun? Write that down.
It may be the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
I'm stunned on how how horrible it is. I literally think I could go to Brian Petroni's daughter's class today and give these kids some background music and a pad of paper and pencil and maybe or a writing instrument and maybe a beat and original lyric like a song that I could literally teach probably 7-year-olds how to do a parody better than that. I mean,
I like it.
Let me ask you a question, Stanley
You're
Steamer.
such a counter programmer.
Did you?
Can we get him on the phone?
Yeah, I'd like to get him maybe on the phone.
Yeah,
so because I like to say, listen,
was
when you got done with that and then you listened to it, did you say?
Did you listen to it?
Did you say, hell yeah, man?
I nailed it.
Oh my! And there's times I've done an interview here and there, like when I did the Cuban interview, I was like, hell yeah, I nailed it. And, you know whether you nail or not.
I love the way you could still hear Blink-182 in the background saying, I'm feeling this over his nonetheless.
His vocal eliminator 2000 wasn't
Brian.
quite tuned up. He didn't have his karaoke machine quite dialed in correctly.
No, but he went with it anyways.
He did. And Lummy, are you trying to get Florida?
I don't have his number.
Stanley Steamer, Florida Stanley. Can you call in, my friend? We listen politely. I'm going to have to score it this way. So let me. He's not quite. He's not out of the game. I mean, he's got one approval and one denial at this point. I mean, the next one's crucial. I think the next one, Brian, is the determining factor of what trajectory he's headed in the negative or the positive. That would be like if the Rays would have won last night. They dropped the first one. But if they would have won last night, well, they wouldn't feel like big fat losers.
Well, they'd still be playing today.
So, Florida Stanley, you opened up with a win. And it's a 10-game series, maybe.
This is him.
Okay, this is Florida Stanley. Florida Stanley, you there?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, he sounds chippy.
What do you I mean, are you what do you think? I mean,
it's like a gimmick at this point, though.
So you're trying to turn it around, saying it's so bad. You made it so bad so that it would be so bad because it's so bad. It's a gimmick.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question though. Is it good content?
We're not. Listen,
content's king. Say it.
I can make
Say it, Guido. Say it, Guido.
And let me tell you something. It would be just as good a content had it been good.
It would have been better if we could have played it again.
Yeah, it would be better if it lived in infamy, like 8 rows of teeth. And I got to be honest with you, your first submission, I'm sorry, that's something that I played several times and wouldn't feel bad about playing again. It was so good. But this will never be played again. And the only time that it would be, the only reason why it will be played again is so that we can for those that didn't hear it the first time, the second people can hear just how horrible it really is. Like it's a blooper. almost. It's did you after you got done producing this whole thing, did you listen to it and say, "Oh my God, this is good"?
Yeah, but I was drunk and on shrooms.
Yeah.
Can we have some of what you were on,
Yeah.
and then maybe we can enjoy it too?
You have to give it to the entire listening audience to be able to be on par with that supness.
All right, everybody.
Super chat.
All right, everybody.
$100 on the super chat.
It's 8:30, and so take your pills now and your mushrooms so that we can play the parody in a half hour, and you can all enjoy it.
Yeah. Brian from Philly
just sniped you.
Stanley. And let me to get back on time. I'm going to nonetheless write into words. Okay? You're Hogan, and you're one of the most famous people in the world. Your newest wife already comes with a gimmick title.
What happened to Linda?
And you know who should have written me the biggest thank you letter ever? Her.
I lost it all back then. Nonetheless, they tried to take my fame. Nonetheless, I let Hogan blast my wife. Nonetheless, I sat in my office and ate. Nonetheless, show me what I did wrong. Nonetheless, show me what I deserve. Nonetheless, Margot is such a tool. Nonetheless, you can get philosophical too. Nonetheless,
This shock jock has more time on the internet. Maybe you'll realize he's not going anywhere.
I need to check with my lawyers to see if I can talk about that, because I think I might be able to.
Where do we go from here? Turn on the beer and up now. Smile from ear to ear. Nonetheless, knowing I'm coming back now. Nonetheless, show me my Twitch numbers. Nonetheless, show me your YouTube views. Nonetheless, we're taking you out too slow. Nonetheless, you've taken enough low blows. Nonetheless.
Lummy, that was 14 nonethelesses in under a minute. Is that enough to fill the sun? Right now.
Bubba the Love Sponge? Hell yeah.
I love them all, man. They're all great.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show returns after these words.
I already deleted it, Lummy.
I mean, there was one other person who recently, like in the last year or so, tried to do a parody, right, from his car or something.
It was Daniel from a couple years ago.
Daniel. Whose was worse, Nonetheless or Daniel's?
Well, Daniel's rhymes are good. He was doing it from his car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Daniel had any production value, it would have been better than that. Is that the worst parody ever in the history of the show, is my question.
No, but top 10. We've had some pretty fucking stupid hillbillies from Pasco County send some shit over the years.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we could get the worst hits.
We delete those immediately.
I know, but it'd be funnier to keep them and have them put out an album, like a real CD that nobody could play. Put it on a cassette. That's where it belongs. Nobody has an 8-track. I like the way he tried to reverse it.
Here's the thing. His fucking fans can't reverse it on the guy that taught him how to reverse it.
This is jokes, cuz.
And you can't just jokes me on a guy that taught you how to just jokes you. Right?
Well, I did it as a parody of a parody. No, it's not. It's not even a parody of a parody. If you parodied somebody else's parody, like if I made an even worse version of that song, which would be really fucking hard to do, then that would be a parody of a parody.
Yeah.
Like, I could write one right now about Florida Stanley called Talentless instead of Nonetheless, and it would be pretty good.
And it would be a parody of his parody.
I tried to get in the club. He's talentless. And go from there.
Look at Brian just right off the top of his fucking head, man.
Brian getting the parody.
How bad does that make you feel, Florida Stanley?
Nonetheless.
Talentless.
Nonetheless. Out.
Well, part of the problem is this. I'm feeling this is 4 syllables. Nonetheless is 3 syllables. So even the hook is not long enough in beat to fill
What's their actual song?
it's I'm feeling this. Or it could be called You're Killing Me instead.
You're killing me.
Writing a parody song. You're killing me. You know, that would work better too.
But I'm feeling this.
No one's feeling this.
Like Mitch Steve says he wants Brian to be the fourth parody guy.
I can work on it.
Dan came up with his own parody.
Oh yeah, Jose Baez was a really good one that he did back in the day to the Adele song, "Rolling in the Deep." Jose Baez, and then he went from there. I don't remember any of it, but he did it on the Diago show. It was better than Florida Stanley's, but not.
He got that idea from me. I first said that I thought that I had a break on my show that said I thought that that's what that name was. You know what I'm saying? I had a break on my show that we played that song, and I said, I think that he's saying Jose Baez. So the person that wrote that song heard that break and made a song about it.
That was Dan Diaco.
Oh, he made the song?
He wrote a song called Jose Baez.
Right, it was probably after me saying that I think that song's...
This was back during the Trayvon, or the Casey
Yes.
Anthony deal.
Right.
Love Shack, baby. Rock Lobster is maybe the worst song of all time. What say you, Lummy? What?
You don't like that song?
Rock Lobster. No. The B-50.
How did it even ever become a hit?
They are so bad.
How many songs? How high did that get?
What?
How high did that get on the charts?
I don't know where it charted.
Charted?
Yeah, the song Rock Lobster by the B-52s.
They were the most overrated piece of shit.
Yeah. And that...
Oh, it went on 100. It was a 100.
It made it up to...
47 of the 500 greatest songs of all time
And how much of the B-52s worth?
I don't know, but it went up to number 1 in Canada. That tells you all you need to know about Canadians. Rock Lobster was the number 1 song in Canada.
You heard it on the Rolling Stones top 500 songs of all time.
There's no way Rock Lobster. Love Shack or Rock Lobster?
There it says.
Rock Lobster?
Here, look. The song became signature tune and went on to place at number 147 on Rolling Stones 500 greatest songs of all time, listed in December 2004.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
Says the B-52's net worth is $1 million.
That means that's worse than what they say on mine's worth. They say I'm worth $5 million.
That means the B-52s are broke. They're in debt. Jeez.
So apparently...
Attention, people of Earth. A big fat blip on corporate's radar screen. This is the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, send me Love Shack.
Okay.
Because we are during the Hotmart during the break, we got into a B-52s discussion. Which how we get into some of these discussions, I don't know. But
my 15th fragmented thought of the day.
No, not mine. Yours.
Yeah, I know.
I'm over here trying to prepare for talking about this flight attendant that barred this drunken woman from entering a plane, and then this girl named Sexy Red, who's this African American. I don't know if she's a rapper or she's just a cool, sexy African American girl. She wants to let everybody know that African Americans need to be pro-Trump. I think I got that to handle. And then Brian just arbitrarily during the hot mic brings up this whole big
somebody in chat said
B-52s, gimmick, and now I'm on that.
Yeah, somebody in chat had mentioned that I should do a parody song, but do it as a B-52s song. And then that's when it reminded me of how bad Rock Lobster was.
Yeah, I sent you Love Shack and Rock Lobster.
Well, all I want is Love Shack, because now, with the exception of Brian, and I don't want chat because somebody in chat knows too. Because smart people that have pay attention to lyrics and people that are just. I mean, I've been in radio so long that it was this was a big whodunit as to what does. Was her name Kate? I think her name's Kate. But when they say this, when there's this one part of the Love Shack where they break it down and she says, and there's been over the years, people speculate as to what she says. I know what she says. But there's the lyrics right there. So
I just turned your closed caption off.
That or I can just put it over here so you guys can't see it. I gotta try to find the part of the song. It's the breakdown. Are you familiar, Brian? Now don't hold on. Hold on here. Here we go. All right. This is like in radio and stuff. I feel like almost a Tuki morning show. But don't say it out loud. But do you guys know what she's saying here? When this part right here.
I don't know.
Lami, shut up. I'm playing it.
Oh, I thought you said that. I thought you asked.
Shut up. I'm playing it. This is the part. All right, so that forever was the big controversy on what she was saying.
Can I hear it one more time, please?
Oh, so you don't know?
Maybe not.
Brian, are you familiar?
I can hear it now. I actually looked up what the saying actually means.
Oh, see, you looked it
You
up.
little cheating bastard.
So you cheated.
No. I could hear. I heard it.
No, you did. You cheated. You cheated.
It's just me playing
But
this
you
game,
said
Bob.
everybody in the studio beside me was playing this game. So
okay,
I was already
understand.
excluded.
All right, I still didn't know. But if you didn't know, then you should have known just not to play. But anyway, here it is. This is the big. Do you know what she's saying?
Yes, you've talked about it before. I know
so you
this,
have to exclude yourself from the game.
Okay.
So Anna.
Yeah.
You're Rat?
Yes, I know what she said.
You know what she said?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious at this point.
You're the only one.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only one.
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Henry's rusted.
Nope. You want to try one more time?
Yes.
All right.
Can I hear it again? Henry rusted.
Tin roof rusted.
Do you know what that means, Bubba?
No, I do not.
So tin roof rusted means she got knocked up. She got knocked up. So in the Love Shack, she got knocked up.
I did not know. Now hold on.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it's.
So they're talking about
unintended baby.
It was such a sex shack where people were banging and going crazy that girls even got pregnant at the Love Shack, baby.
Yep.
That makes it even more scandalous because I never knew that. I just knew what they said. I thought it was talking about literally the roof on the shack was rusted and it was made out of tin. Much like you see a lot of tin roofs.
Yeah.
Why would she just yell that, though, at the Love Shack?
Well, just because we don't know.
Well, actually, we do.
No one knows. It's provocative.
No, but like, when did the
Gets
term...
the people going.
When did the term tin roof rusted...
It's only in that song.
Oh, so it didn't have a social... Like, socially, it was not known as that. It's only supposed to mean that in this song.
Yes.
Correct? Sociably in Indiana back in the 50s, if a girl got pregnant and they didn't say tin roof rusted.
Yeah.
It's not a saying.
Oh, it's not a general saying?
It's a saying now.
It's a saying now, but they're the ones that made it the saying.
Well, the girl who sang it, Cindy, claims that she just kind of made it up. Like she claims that she wasn't using it as anything
Other than just
beyond words. Like, she just literally thought that that's what a love shack. She thought of this old abandoned building with a rusty tin roof in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah,
so she just shouted it out.
So I'm kind of right, but then it's morphed itself into a dirty aspect.
Yeah, that a woman knocked up with an unintended baby.
Yeah, but the woman that sang it said that she intended it for literally just to be a shack with a
Like she's
rusted tin
describing
roof.
the love shack,
Yes.
literally.
Right.
In her mind, that's what she was doing.
Right,
Yeah.
but then society made it the fact that you were get kicked out wide and then got impregnated. That's okay. I don't mind.
So
here's
What behavior of
this is a Southwest flight attendant, and I guess this girl was doing cartwheels down the gangway to get into the airplane. She's doing like drunken cartwheels, and then this flight attendant has to give her the good news. Now you can see they're right at the opening of the plane. The flight attendant, and I think she tells this woman that, and I think, Brian, if you are visibly inebriated or like they're pretty strict on not letting you on a plane.
Well, they can be. They can be. They can choose to be, and they I've seen them in instances where they've let people on that
probably shouldn't
have gotten on. Yeah.
Right. But they do have the ability and the authority to say, we feel you've been overserved and you could potentially a problem.
Like if you're doing cartwheels and somersaults in the gate area,
yeah,
you probably don't want to be drawing attention to
Right.
yourself
To your drunkenness.
if you've had a few to drink. And she claims one glass of wine, which is what every drunk person says
Right.
when they get called out and they admit that they're drunk.
Well,
I just had one glass
yeah,
of wine.
She tried to claim that that's why she was sober, because she could do a cartwheel.
All right, hold on.
what behavior of mine did you see? What behavior did I see? Yeah. You are flipping all over the ground. You can't. You're engaging. You're loud. You want attention from everybody. All of us. The whole entire crew saw it. All of us are in agreement that you Flipping cannot on the go ground. You mean the cartwheels I was doing with the children that I met on the flight? As I was watching you drink your alcohol.
Video first posted in Reddit in June has spread like wildfire across social media. Now, okay, this is the confrontation, but do they have any video of the?
I don't think so.
Of the cartwheels. That seems like a big nothing burger to me.
It is a big nothing burger.
Donald Trump is full hot because he's off the 400, the Forbes top 400 list. And supposedly he's really mad about it.
Michael Jordan's on it now. So
are they? You know what? I'll take that all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Michael Jordan instead of Trump.
Yep.
But Trump's really mad about it. They're saying because now did he lose his ass on the Truth?
Truth Social?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going well financially for Truth Social.
Like how much did he put? Allegedly, how much did he put up? And
I don't know that he lost it, but he was a part of it. But
Is
a
it
big
not
part of
going
his
that well?
loss was Truth Social, based on the failure of that. So I guess he did put a lot into it.
Is it not going that well?
No,
I don't.
Really.
You know what? Truth Social's death was Elon opening up Twitter, right? Elon saying, "Hey, I'm gonna, you guys can pretty much say what you want here on Twitter." Right? I mean, he pretty much opened up Twitter to they gave us our account back. We were never going to get our account back ever. So he opened it up because I think we can all agree that there is data that shows that Twitter was being manipulated by the government.
Yes.
And I mean, Brian, even you, would you agree to that? That Twitter was
by employees that were responding to requests from the government.
Right.
Yes.
But Twitter was influenced by employees that worked for the federal government.
Well, that worked with.
Right.
That were assisting the federal government.
We know that because
the requests of the government.
Well, we know that because the guy who bought it showed us the files. So it ain't like, the janitor found this secret stash of files and the guy who bought
there was
it.
a hearing. Remember the Twitter files, and they were questioning the woman who was in charge.
And
she's like, "Yeah, we were contacted by the FBI."
And whatever was the outcome of that? Did that ever amount to anything?
It just exposed Twitter
for being, a mouthpiece
compromised
for the government.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy Red. Trump is the hood's prez. Get him back in office. Now,
I love Theo Von when he interviews rappers.
Wait, where is Sexy Red? I saw somebody with red hair and a red hat, but I didn't see anybody sexy.
I'll show you. Okay, well.
Red finds her sexy.
Brian.
I mean, I'm not. It's not based on
that?
the melanin.
Brian.
What?
It's to everybody's each interpretation, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
This woman here is sexy in somebody's eyes. Maybe not yours with your electric lawnmower and your kid that goes to private
Yeah,
school.
Brian doesn't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get the neck
I get
tat. Yeah, the neck tat sexy to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
real
Well,
sexy.
she is going to break it down.
Hepatitis red looks like a more appropriate name for her.
Listen, I think that she may be the voice of the African American people.
Oh, yeah.
She's a very influential and very cool African American. And, I mean, right up there with Tim Scott. And I think that
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens, Tim Scott, and Sexy Red.
She's the reason everybody's yelling ski.
So, I mean, one would say that she could have, be a spokesperson for an African American woman. Could she not?
Oh, she absolutely could.
And that's what she is, and that's the position. And she has this particular position.
Do you think more people are going to support Trump now in the hood
like
or
Trump.
no?
Yeah, they support him in the hood. Because at first, I don't think people was fucking with him like they thought he was racist.
Hello.
Saying,
What? No, he
F word.
F word.
I don't think so.
No,
Yes,
100%, Bubba.
Yes.
I had it in plenty of time.
Jeez.
She needs to be the new press secretary.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some more coming. So
I know. There's no more.
I would back off.
No,
on it.
shut up. I'm going to play it just because you don't like it.
No, I don't mind
But
what she's
there's
saying.
no more F's in it because I think you guys have misinterpreted her F because I listened to it earlier today and it's not an F.
Let's go back and play it again.
Bubba, it 100%. As someone who is fluent in
100%.
jive, it was an F.
All right, cool. Then we'll move on.
Okay.
And hopefully she does not speak of anymore. Thank you. I have 32.9 seconds of delay build up, so I'm plenty covered.
little shit. And, against women.
There's another one. Okay.
We didn't even make it a half a second in. But no, guys, I listened to this and there's nothing else.
There's nothing else from this point forward, okay? Now, this is Sexy Red. She's an African-American. Now, is she a rapper?
Yes.
I guess so. I've never heard of her before.
That's a loose term, but
Can anybody send me
that's not the only thing loose about her.
Sexy Red's latest compilation?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But once he started getting black people out of
Everybody quiet.
jail and giving people their free money, oh, baby, we love Trump. We need him back in office.
That's the soundbite that Donald should have. They should make it. Donald should have like some rappers make a remix, Brian, and this is what they play.
We need him back in office.
Did she just go to the eye doctor and
We
him
went
too?
back to the office.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
bright.
We love Trump. We need him back in office.
Boom. Trump should be like Let's Go Brandon. There should be a song made.
Baby, we love Trump. We need him back in office.
Florida Stanley's
Trump.
on it. He's on it.
We love Trump. He should be back in office. We love Trump. He should be back in office. We love Trump.
Oh, baby, we love Trump. We need him back in office.
Ding, 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 ding. We love Trump. He should be back in office. Ding, ding, ding. Look at Theo.
Yeah, a little bit of free money goes a long way.
We need him back. Because, baby, them checks. Oh, yes, them stimulus checks. Trump, we miss you.
That's like Whoa Vicky. She's always talking about Trump. You see her ever?
I like Trump. No, I ain't never seen Whoa.
She's funny.
I
She's
love
just on
Trump, though. He
Instagram.
funny to me. Like, I used to watch his not interviews, like him talking to people. He used to be calling people fat.
Yeah.
He just bold.
Wow.
He funny. Like,
Is she an astronaut? Because it looks like she's got
She had LASIK.
enough eyewear.
we need people like him.
Well,
Was that facial hair or a tattoo on the side? Okay.
I sent you. I tried to. It says clean version, but one says best clean version. This one says clean version.
Now, is this Sexy Red's latest song?
Oh, interesting. Ski. Oh, okay.
Ski.
What does that mean? Rhett? What does that mean?
Ski.
Rhett?
Hey, Alexa.
She's about to tell you.
What ski mean?
Ski is a noun usually defined as a pair of long, slender runners made of metal, wood, or plastic used for gliding over snow.
Thank you,
or to
Alexa.
travel on ski
Alexa,
for
shut
sport.
up. Shut your hole.
Bubba, I found this one says super clean version. If you wanna.
If I remember correctly, if you see me and you're trying to see what's up, ski.
It says when you tell a guy to pull up and also when you swerve him anyway.
What?
Yeah, so if you see me and you're trying to see what's up.
Bubba, I want to see the video.
Well,
of her dancing and stuff.
Oh, well, let me hear. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. All right.
This is just not doing it.
You try to say what's up.
Ski.
Oh, this is awful.
This is worse than Florida Stanley
Yeah,
song.
this is worse than Florida Stanley.
Come on, let's give it a chance.
Yeah, guys.
Well, turn your mics off if you can't give it a chance.
Sorry.
Jesus. We're equal opportunity give chancers.
13 minutes.
Back for his,
I like it.
She'll walk out to this at the debate.
He should. Like, I just want to let you know that I've been endorsed by Sexy Red.
He's gonna list that on.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but that would go such a long way for him.
Oh, it would. It really would, because white people aren't gonna. They're not gonna hate on that.
Sleepy Joe doesn't have Sexy Red. I do.
Can you imagine?
Okay. Sleepy Joe couldn't even get a call out.
Let me tell you something right now, man. Sleepy Joe think he has the African Americans, but Donald Trump has the hardcore brothers. I'm just telling you that. Now, please put your hands together for opening performance of Ski Yee by Sexy Red, ladies and gentlemen. She loves the Trump. It's tremendous. It's an awesome performance. I just can't wait for you to see it.
When you go into the polls, Ski Yee. It's just so. It's not music. It's not even. There's nothing. There's nothing about it. That's.
Brian,
I like it.
Have you not heard her other song, Pound Town?
No, yeah. I mean, my God,
Wait,
Brian,
hold on. I need to hear
please.
Pound
That's
Town.
a country song, right?
Shut
Well,
up.
I mean, why besmirch the great Sexy Red when she's got smashes like Pound
I
Town?
don't even know if we could play it.
I
I haven't found a clean version of it, but
Of Pound Town.
Yes.
Hold on here. Let's get.
Oh dear.
Do you think you'd be happier as a boy?
Oh. A booty hole.
Oh, she shot this on South Beach.
Oh, this is awesome. Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Take it. Fuck these niggas.
Yeah, we probably need to take a break.
Was that radio plutonium or what?
What, you think I like avoiding my wife and kids to hang out with 19-year-old girls all day?
Bubba the Love Sponge Show returns after these words.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Can you play it with just so I can watch the video?
Here we go. My coochie clean and my booty all round.
Sing it along, you know the fucking
Brett.
Hold on. This might be Anna's favorite shit. Hold on.
Is that the old white guy?
Yeah, that was an old white guy.
She's been all over the NFL games these first few weeks.
Like going to them or?
Yeah.
She is ratchet, dude.
I like it.
I'm trying to get my coochie straight, yeah. I'm trying to get my coochie straight, yeah.
I'm trying to get my coochie straight.
Stretched.
You know them J.
Oh, stretch. Okay.
Stretched.
I like a nigga with a check. All my niggas give me that. You know I'm sexy, I'm the best. I'm the silly bitch, I'm that. You know, I can't say his name because if he be cheating. I love you,
Note
bad
to
bitch.
self:
And I'm the
never
reason.
visit Pound Town.
Niggas love a bad bitch. Yeah. But Suki say nut on my tits. Pound, just left pound. Let my nigga, he just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dig a bitch down. Yeah.
Get him. She's about to do a collab with Paul Song. Get him. Get Simon in red.
Get him. Yeah, that nigga dig a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out.
She wants me. What is going on under your
Losing any chance of ever getting her to not mark it as gone now. Come here.
Does Scout not like Pound Town?
She doesn't like Brian. She has no problem with Pound Town. She's like Brian.
I think the lyrics of Pound Town are quite brilliant, to be honest with you.
I like it, honestly.
She truly is a songbird of our generation.
Come here.
I like it.
Come on.
She's, he dicked a bitch down.
She's been trying to get it stretched.
She's trying to get her coochie stretched.
Right.
Hi, are you trying to stretch my coochie, you little wiener? Hi.
He's trying to stretch your coochie.
This wiener is. She's right up between my legs. It's right up, what is it? In my booty, pink booty hole.
You said brown booty hole.
Oh, sorry. Brown
Coochie pink. My booty hole brown.
Oh my god. Yeah. I like that.
Come on.
My coochie pink. My booty hole brown.
Let's go outside. Bam. Let's go outside. Come on, let's go. Bam.
My coochie pink. My booty hole brown.
I know.
Man, that dog hates you.
I know.
She thinks you're Jay.
Yeah, she's like, oh, skinny lawyer.
Yeah, she can tell.
Emaciated lawyer.
She can tell. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. My coochie pink,
Hey,
my
Bubba.
booty hole brown.
Bubba, I do have a good idea. Can we have Anna recreate that music video and do the song?
Yeah.
I think that would get so many views. Mm-hmm. You have to do it, Anna. Get your hoe crew together. Reagan and the other girl, this redhead that you said is cute. What?
She is cute.
Yeah, I know what cute means when a girl says she's cute. We all know. It's fucking code word.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she has a good personality.
You shut the fuck up. She's my best friend.
Okay. And
She's a hottie with sexy body, so fuck you.
Yeah?
My booty
Can I see a
pink,
photo
my
of her?
booty hole brown. Yeah, sure.
Say it again.
Wait.
My
My
pussy-
coochie pink,
Yeah.
my booty hole brown.
Come to BRP and take her to Pound Town.
Pound town. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown.
That is awful. But I do think that has to be an assignment, right, Bubba?
Uh-huh.
I mean, you just have to do it.
Can do it.
I think you have to. I think Bubba's gonna pull the old Bubba card and say, if you don't, you're fired.
My coochie pink, my booty hole brown.
Anna has volunteered to remake
My
the
pussy
music
pink.
video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
My pussy pink. My booty hole brown.
My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. That's my friend.
Which one? The one down there?
Mm-hmm.
Here. Is she thicker than a $10 cheeseburger? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess cute is a fair term. Yeah, those big glasses. You know,
Which, I mean, you could tell, like,
I
she's
know.
attractive.
No, yeah, she's not ugly.
Nowhere near the rare air at the top of the heap.
I mean, we know what's important.
More like the bottom feeders existing on the scraps of society.
You just babbling about.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Maybe not because she might not be able to find any friends. It could be a solo performance of Pound Town. Sexy Reds. Very, very highly rated and very coveted damn near Grammy award-winning.
I mean, it's
quality.
got to be up there. The way it's written, the lyrics, it's right up there with Bridge Over Troubled Water. I mean, it's
up there with some of the anthems.
Can
now,
I
is it
sing
not?
my line?
It's deep and it really makes you think.
If you
Can I sing my line?
if you substitute the P word with the kitty,
Well,
my kitty pink.
No, she says coochie.
No,
in the song.
She says,
doesn't she?
She said coochie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's coochie.
May I sing it?
Yeah, go ahead.
My coochie pink, my booty hole brown.
So let's take a
I mean, it's up there with We Will Rock You.
Yeah,
isn't
Bubba,
it?
listen, why don't we have Rhett do a casting call?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Casting couch with Rhett.
Yeah,
Casting
but
couch?
no, we're getting.
I'm sorry, casting call.
The casting couch might be a little bit more
So first I have
I'm sure we got a few of those around here.
Rhett's there, and he's like, so first I have to make sure that your coochie is pink and your booty hole's brown because you can't be. We don't like liars around here. So please drop trow.
With his wiener dog.
Yeah, he's sitting there petting the dog.
Yeah, with like one of those real long those things that you smoke a cigarette like you know
the old long tip cigarette
the long
thing.
tip cigarette thing with a black and mild on it.
Black and mild.
Just put a blunt on there.
Yeah, you'd have to put a blunt.
So Anna,
I'll be wearing a suit with socks with slides.
Could you do
that dance? Of course.
I mean, you know, like a solo reenactment of
like just like a 45-second
Pound Town.
A 45-second like
you might be able to make it a parody about your life, you know.
But my coochie pink, my booty hole brown, and then more.
and yeah, that's the only lines you need. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. Just got back from Pound Town.
I like it.
Of course, you have to be oblivious if you don't know that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are now the hot new, it couple. And it's, like whoever she's with always gets the Taylor Swift rub. But for the first time, I think this is a person that can maybe manage it. I think Travis Kelce can actually manage this.
I've actually muted the term Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift from my Twitter this morning because I am so sick and tired of seeing it. The NFL had to put out a statement defending themselves for posting so much Taylor Swift.
Because they said it's pop culture relevant. Look, you never miss a good opportunity. First of all, their couple name should be TNT. That's their couple name.
Right.
That's how we refer to them.
Brangelina and all that kind of
deal.
You
can't go with that. They're TNT. They're dynamite together. You can't stop them.
So you need to get a hold of you need to get a hold of their publicists and say, hey, I got an idea. My name's Schmarmy Ass Brian Matroni. I'm a lawyer. I come up with crazy ideas, and I think we should bill this couple as TNT. They're dynamite.
Yep.
Hold on here. Now this is Travis Kelce's weekly podcast with his brother, who plays for he was I think a center for the Eagles.
Yeah,
he's Lummy without a head injury.
He is, and I got to tell you, man, I almost like his brother better than I do Travis. His brother's kind of more no nonsense.
He's more rugged.
Yeah, he's a little more rugged. Right, I think that's the right term.
Is the NFL overdoing it? What is your honest opinion?
I think everybody's just like overwhelmed
your feelings
with
for Taylor. What is your honest opinion on how the NFL?
What jersey is he wearing?
I think he's wearing the old Colts kicker, the one that Peyton Manning called
Pat
an
McAfee?
idiot. No, not Pat McAfee. The one that he got drunk and Peyton Manning called him an idiot kicker. Got drunk.
Vinatieri?
It's not Vinatieri either. It's the other one, but whatever.
Okay.
NFL.
It's not Vinatieri. It's the other one, but whatever. Thank you.
No, I thought Brian would know.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Treating celebrities at games.
I think it's fun when they show who all is at the game. I think it brings a little bit more to the atmosphere, brings a little bit more to what you're watching. But at the same time, I think
they're overdoing it.
They're overdoing it a little bit for sure.
And this is I like his candidness. I really do.
It's a BYU jersey. He lost a bet. Had to wear it.
Right.
I think they're just trying to have fun with it, and a lot of the people watching. Go ahead, let's hear it.
I just think the NFL is not used to celebrities coming to the games. Like basketball has it figured out. They're all courtside. They're sitting there. They show them once or twice, and then they get back to the game. The NFL is like, oh, look at all these A-list celebrities in the game. Keep showing them, show them. Dude,
I think I kind of agree with him.
Listen, you show them once, let them know they're there. Maybe after a touchdown, you get a little clip, but you can't be overboard with it.
Yeah.
People are there to watch the game, right?
Yeah, they're not there to get thrown on TV. I'll tell you what, though, it is because you never know. You get caught, just throwing a big old cheeseburger in, and you look like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that you just don't want to be on TV at all time.
Wonder if Taylor, but Taylor loves it, and like you said, Brian, this is also very calculated. I mean, as much as we think that it's organic, it is so calculated. We went through that last Thursday with how calculated this probably all Taylor Swift appearances at his particular games are probably way more calculated than we even think of.
Yeah. Every moment of her life is thought out.
His exit, her exit of the game what car they get into, what nightclub they go to, who is allowed to get within, picture taking distance of her. It's everything's perfectly planned and staged, I think, and I don't know. I think maybe the what's Travis's brother's name?
Jason.
I think he's right in the fact that the league's just kind of marking out because they have not, historically you don't see. I guess you do see celebrities in various boxes from time to time, but she literally is the biggest star in the world.
At this moment, absolutely.
At this time in the world, she's the Elvis. She's the Beatles. She's Michael Jackson. She's all. At one time, those people were all the biggest stars in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's who she is right now, and she has been for a while. And when you get that big of a star that's not only going to NFL sanctioned football games, but dating one of the premier players of that. It's almost like, probably we haven't seen something like this, Brian, since, the Spice Girl, Victoria dated Beckham.
I'll go beyond it. We've never seen anything like Taylor Swift before because she is cross-generational in her appeal. 40-year-old moms are just as crazy about her as 13-year-old girls.
And 36-year-old dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, and so she has...
even me, 57-year-old NFL. I mean, I'm 57, old as hell, but I think Taylor Swift is cool. Like, I like her. I think she's cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody likes her.
Yeah, so her Q score's got to be through the absolute roof right now. Probably the highest ever recorded.
I don't know. You don't think Elvis had a pretty high Q score?
They didn't have it back then, but
What's
if they
a Q
did,
score?
Q score is how
your star power,
how popular you are, how your star power scores. Somebody created it.
I know, but like Michael Jackson probably at one time had imagine how popular he was before he touched the kids, and he right after Thriller when he was at his all-time hottest. Right.
Yeah.
There was a time that Michael Jackson was the biggest star in the world
on the planet.
I mean, she's that franchise now, and that franchise is dating one of your premier players. That's a win-win for everybody, and everybody's going to go crazy about it. How long does it last? Brian, did you hear the song we played, I think maybe 2 days ago, about there's already a breakup song? Did you hear it?
No.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
No.
And Anna will tell you, it's actually pretty good.
It is, actually.
It's actually pretty good. can you read
Is it called Loose Ends?
Let me try to find it real quick.
No, it's
Loose Ends would be great because he's a tight end. Never mind.
They incorporate the tight end deal.
Yeah.
Brian, this is not a time for you to be real. It's trying to be very schmarmy. This is a time for you to listen to the song.
Yes, sir.
And really not be a hater because it's pretty damn good.
Okay.
It's pretty damn good. Let me try to find it.
I just found it. I know. I had to go back into my history. I sent it to you.
You did?
Yep.
All right, hold on. And Brian, it's pretty damn good. Hold on here.
There you go.
You stole my heart, you intercepted it. Now you're gone, have to accept it. Did I meet your mom too soon? Or did I do what I always do? Yeah, we made it to the 50, and then you kissed me. We made it to the 40, a new love story. We made it to the 30, and you did me dirty right then. You put the end in tight end, and as I touched down, just like you in a game, I'm in another town, and nothing feels the same. Wish I could go back when we met that day. Oh, whoa, and throw a flag on the play.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a top 40 radio station, Wild, 93.3, if I was, it's so good and so topical that I might put that in rotation.
It's illegal.
And say, listen, you know what? What do you mean it's illegal?
Taylor Swift would sue you in a heartbeat.
For what?
You
It's not actually Taylor Swift.
It's not, but it is pretending to be.
hold on.
It is
But the
using
case
her
law.
Hold on.
Well, so first of all, you distort the voice slightly, and the case law isn't there yet.
And not only that, Brian, but you now have a national story on your little radio station in Tampa, Florida.
Yep.
And you know what the damages would be? Nothing. Just stop playing it.
So
that's what they would make you do.
I don't think so.
So, Bubba, that song is generated AI. So Bing came out with an AI graphic. So I typed in Colonel Bubba the Love Sponge.
You type in what?
Colonel Bubba the Love Sponge. And I didn't know if you wanted to see what it came up with in the AI image.
But I'm just telling you, Brian, if I was a top 4 radio station, I would have my DJs position it. Hey, they're the hottest couple in the world right now, but they're already writing breakup songs for when they do it. And this, and here it is. Everybody, I mean, and it's so well done. I'd listen to it. I thought it was well done.
I mean, it was well done. It was a little obvious.
I want to laugh.
But it was good. It was good as a parody. You better hurry up and show the photo. It's after 10. That's almost like him in the big boy suit.
That's what I'm going to look like at Ronnie's wedding. We'll be back in 20 minutes for an after show with Brian.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lummox,
co-host Anna Hummel,
co-host Dr. Dan Diaco Esquire of Council, co-host J. Diaco Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council,
Rhett, the Filthy Ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
And for everything else, go to thebubbaarmy.com.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repair the law.